could be with anyone, you're here with me. You're here with me. You could be around for
You could be with anyone, and I could be with anyone. You're here with me. You're here with me.
Hey, what's going on, people? Just give me some ones in the chat. Let me know that you can hear me, you can see me, that I'm up and rocking before I get too far into it, because I am good for that. Sitting here talking to myself. I see some ones coming up. Yeah, I gotta tell you guys, I see the ones. Thank you for the ones. You're number one, you're number one, you're number one. All right. We are back in the house for another Sunday night after show party. Got my party. Well, you know what? I'm gonna put my party hat on. Whew. Put my party hat on. Be dealing this Joker stuff. We'll put the party hat on, and we're going to talk sister wives. Okay, we're going to talk sister wives because tonight was insane. Okay, I am watching my man Cody during the course of this episode. There are a few choice things that I want to say. And I got to be careful because I'll mess around and get banned off YouTube. But like, this is why he is establishing himself as like one of the cast members to the reality show Villains episodes. Okay, I think that at some point they're going to call him and say, Cody, you can come down as one of the villains on the show because what you're doing is utterly ridiculous. It's so insane. Like watching this and how he ripples into everybody, even when they're not, when he's not on the screen, they're kind of talking about him and how he's affected so many people so negatively. That's one of my nightmare scenarios. Like, who wants to go through the course of their life with people that you spend a majority of your life with, and you look back on your time with those people and you say, wow, I really messed their lives up. Like, that's you know what I mean? Most people, like, I want to be able to pass away and people say, wow, you know, James, when he was here, he positively affected my situation. He positively affected my life. He made me feel better about myself, made me feel more encouraged, more confident, whatever, more secure, anything. He just put a smile on my face every once in a while. That would be okay too. This guy, it's like, yeah, he tried to figure out every way possible to screw me out of money, Janelle. He sits on the couch and just says mean stuff to Mary because he wants to be an ass. You know, like Christine, he drives her to go out and start dating people. And one of the things that I'm it's kind of weird. I wanted to talk a little bit about Christine before I get into too much Cody and Mary, because I have a lot I want to say about that, but I want to make sure that the room loads up pretty good. Oh, we got some some from Britney, not Britney, just ran across my screen. Was it thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Holla at your boy. Shout out to Mary's therapist, because I would have leaped over that Abel listening to that idiot. He's lucky none of his sons have popped up on him. Yeah, it's insane. Like, you know what I mean? This deserves a pull up. Like, you know what I mean? You might get pulled up on you talk to somebody mama like that. Like, this is craziness. You know, and I do think that Mary's therapist, I do want to talk about, I am going to talk specifically about Mary tonight. I have to do some videos on it because I really want to get into it, because there's some stuff that I noticed. But Mary's therapist, whoever she's talking to, whoever she's dealing with, I think that they're really helping her to get past this hard and difficult time. And as Brittany said, like, Mary is finding a piece of Zen, Jack. Because like Cody is just, he shows up and he's just both barreling her. Like he's just hitting her. You know what I mean? And Mary, to her credit, like these women, all three of them, like he sits and complains all the time. Thank you, Brittany. Before I get too far afield, let me give Brittany a little something before I get too far out, because you know I ramble. I'm a rambling man. Thank you, Brittany. Now, Brittany, let's get you a little something. Appreciate the super chat. Yeah. But after show party dancing. But the thing that really kills me about Cody is that he always complains. Seems to come. Oh, you see that little green thing? He always seems to complain about the cloak of charity, the lack of the cloak of charity. When I deal with these women, we don't have the cloak of charity anymore. Bruh, let me tell you something. After 30 years of marriage, after 30 years, hell, marriage or friendship, they could have known you casually for 30 years. And somebody who knew you for that long could come in and they could roast your ass like a chicken on Sunday, at a pregame party. They could roast you. You could get roasted with the information that they have. Being married to you, especially being married to you in a plural relationship, if these women wanted to do you up, trust me when I say they have enough material where they could bury you. Okay, you'll walk in the front door, they throw dirt right in your face because they would bury you if they really put their minds to it. And they really put in a little bit of meanness, a little spice of nastiness, and just a smidge of assholery. They could bury you. If they really wanted to torture you or jack you up and really hurt your image, oh, they know enough where they could get up there and say some nasty stuff. You can't tell me that they don't. Okay, you couldn't convince me that they don't have the ammunition to do that. Okay, now I'm not saying that it does go both ways, so it might be mutually assured destruction. But they do have enough where they could jack you up. And plus, most of the fans, let's be honest, don't really like your ass anyway. So it's not really like they would say something and you would say something back, and both of you would, experience the same level of like discomfort or rejection. Okay, they come out with what they gotta say. Yeah, I don't even know what it is. Yeah, I believe it. You know what I mean? Like it's there already. So for him to sit there and do this whole like cloak of charity, and they don't offer me the cloak of charity. If the worst thing you heard is that you abandoned Mary, that's the worst thing you got. Bruh, I'm telling you, getting off easy. You're getting off easy. The guy calls you up, yeah, you abandoned Mary. I've been saying that for years. Apparently, maybe Cody doesn't watch my YouTube channel because I've been saying that for years. I've been saying that since I started this show. Okay? He's abandoned that woman. He abandoned his whole family, kids included. So, yeah, you can miss me with that one, bro. You can miss me with that one. Somebody else. Sassy Experience. Okay, love that profile picture. That's not $5 super chat. Ain't no way you looking like Lion Man, a Beauty and the Beast, gaslight me for years, then come to my good space and bully me for leaving your raggedy ass on my terms. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. There's no way. Look, that's why I say Mary has achieved the true Zen. Okay, she is in her Zen place. Because we would have been talking. Okay, like you're not going to play me dirty for years, like not even years. Let's be honest, for decades. You ain't gonna play me dirty for decades. Then I finally find a place where I can call my own, a place of peace where I'm at home and I like being where I'm at, and I'm starting to like myself. And you come in there and try to rain on my parade. Oh no, mother, I got an umbrella. Okay. I got an umbrella and a bucket, and you catching all this back. You catching all that back. There's no way in the world. Let me give Sassy Experience a little something. This is like, woo. They trying to Says they trying to drive us to drink. That's what I think it is. I think Cody must have a deal with like Ciroc liquor, P. Diddy's vodka, because they trying to drive us to drink. Like we losing our minds. Like we crazy or something. But thank you for joining us for the after party. Sassy Experience, a little something, something for you. All right, get the kick step. See, y'all don't know nothing about that kick step. That's a Gen X thing. Bow! Welcome to the nation, baby. Gen X. The greatest nation or a generation who ever lived. Yeah. We say Cody talk about the F and F. Didn't need to hear that. I was okay, and it was weird too because they were talking about how weird it is when you talking about PDAs and I don't like PDAs and PDAs ain't for me. Then you gonna get up and start talking about F and F. Are you serious? You weirdos. You weirdo. Oh man. Oh, what's his? That's my shoe. Eddie Murphy, that's my shoe. Fall down the step. That's my shoe. $5 super chat. Thank you so much. After watching them with Married Tonight, I would have committed the crime and willingly done the time. I would have locked my own cuffs. That's what I'm saying. I might have picked up the phone, be like, hello. Yeah, you might want to send a few units and a couple ambulances over to the house. Yes. Yes. Oh, no, nothing has happened yet. Tell you, bring some mops and buckets because it's going to get tough up in here. Oh, man, that's insane. Well, let's give thank you for the super chat. That's my shoe. $5 super chat. Let me give you a little something. Oh, my goodness. Out of this world. I know Teresa Skinner said TMI. That is too much damn information. And it's not even placed in a place. It's not even put in a place where it's like, this is what I be doing, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yeah, the only thing that it produces orgasms. I was like, come on, bro. Maybe for you. Maybe for you. You know what I mean? That'd be too crass, but I'm sorry, I gotta go there. Gotta go there. He's like, yeah, only thing it produces orgasm. Not after you crawl on top of and do your business, mister. Like, get the hell out of here. Woo, that was amazing. Did you enjoy that? And she's like, did we start yet? Start, girl, I just rocked your world. See, I could go so much deeper in that, but I'm not going to because it's craziness. Oh. But the thing I wanted to talk about, now that we got the room kind of loaded up, let's talk. Okay. And I'm only going to be able to do the show for 2 hours tonight. Some of you are like, thank gosh, he talks too damn much. But so when I open up the floor, just as a forewarning, I want to give everybody 5 minutes because I want to try to get everybody in as many people in as possible. Once you go through, you can always call back in. I'm not saying that you can't call back in. You only get one shot. You only get one chance at the mic. That's not true. You can call back as many times as you want, but new callers will take priority. So once you get through your 5 minutes, I'm going to have to disconnect and bring up the next caller so that way we can get everybody in and folks don't feel like they gotta, they're being discouraged to call in. So, but I do want to hear what you guys have to say. But some of the things that I wanted to talk about tonight, one, let's talk about Christine sitting on the couch and she's talking with Aspen, Mitch, Isabel. Truly comes in, Peyton's there, and of course you have the stars of the show. You have McKelty and Tony. And it was a little weird because I just feel like I don't want to bash McKelty. I don't want to bash Tony. I just feel like sometimes they have their own personalities. I think that that's fair to say. Like, I don't think that they're necessarily trying to be mean or rough or rude to their mom. I just think that sometimes they say things and it's like, what are you talking about? Like when Tony, specifically what I was thinking about was when Tony had mentioned that David reminds him of Cody. And when he said that, I was like, my dude, especially, bruh, you come off or try to come off like you were this high flying, super fly, dating all these women, have all this experience and all this, sexual experience because you was out there doing all the flavors and all that stuff that McKelty was so proud of saying about her husband. But my dude, like, it's like you don't understand basic things. Even if David was an exact duplicate of Cody, they somehow did like some kind of genetic DNA experiment and they created a Cody clone, which would be horrible. Like that's just a waste of science. But they created a Cody clone, right? And they said the world is not evil enough, so we're gonna put another one here. And he started dating Christine because that relationship is new, and especially if you're trying to encourage her to continue dating this dude, why would you compare him to her ex, who she had a very volatile relationship with? You understand what I mean? Like, if you want to encourage her to continue dating David because you think he's such a nice guy and they're such a cute couple, why would you say, he really reminds me of Cody? Because in some situations, Christine had already made up her mind that this is somebody who she was going to date and who she was interested in. But not everybody has that same security. And some people, after being in these long term relationships, have a sense of insecurity because they feel like they made a bad decision. And the decision that they made was with somebody that they didn't see it coming. They didn't see that this person is not necessarily the best person for them. So they're looking at it like, oh my goodness, if I didn't see that Cody was a bad guy and we wound up together for 30 years and the relationship ended horribly and he's coming off like this mean ass every time he talks, maybe I'm missing something with this new guy. And you could actually destroy a relationship by making that very subtle, innocent comparison, if I give Tony the benefit of the doubt. So when he said it, I was like, "Oh, why would you say that? Do you want this relationship to end?" Um, then he went on to say that I guess called himself insulting David, lightweight insulting David, and this is my personal pet peeve favorite thing in the world. Tony goes on to say that well, Cody and David are both boomers. And I'm like, Tony is using a term that he's not necessarily familiar with. To him, a boomer is just somebody who's old, I guess. His parents are boomers, or anybody who's not in his generation is a boomer. The funniest thing to me about that is one, you don't understand what a boomer is. A boomer's cutoff date is 65. All right. Now that might seem like back in the olden days to you because you guys are younger, but David, I think technically is a boomer. I think technically he's a boomer, but Cody's Gen X. And as somebody has said earlier, I'm part of Gen X, but as a fellow Gen Xer, we don't claim Cody. Cody has been, and we're gonna trade Cody off to the millennials, like because he's acting like a kid. Okay, we're gonna trade Cody off. He's gonna be a Generation Z or whatever. But as a Gen Xer, that's what Cody is. But the funny thing is that when people start making those kind of comments and think they're making shots like, oh, he's so old, he's so tired. The funniest thing is that, bruh, you have crept into your 30s. Now, once you enter into the double digits, the dirty 30s, you are not a kid anymore. It's like, so the whole ageism thing ages pretty poorly. Okay. And I mean it, I mean every bit of that pun. Like it ages so poorly. Okay. Because you're old too. Like you're getting up there too. Because the new generation is coming out now. The younger folks, the 15, the 25s, they looking at your ass like you old as hell too, bro. That's the funny thing about it. Okay. When you pass 30 and you talk to somebody who's 15, they think you a grandmom too. They looking for your grandkids. That's how it works. Okay. Nobody can be young forever. Now, regardless of the Peter Pan syndrome that Cody suffers from, nobody is young forever. In fact, it gets to a point where you trying to hold on to your youth actually makes you less attractive, because nobody wants to be with somebody who's just a, like, if you're young and you're wild and you're crazy, then you kind of like Peter Panning, like, oh, that dude is so much fun, he's unpredictable and he's crazy and we don't know, and he's so much fun, he's so exciting. But when you are 40 years old and you 50 years old, hell, you 35, and you unpredictable and you can't be relied on, then you're just a shit person. Like, that's the way folks look at you. They look at you like there's something wrong with you if I can't trust who you are. There's no stability in your personality whatsoever. You're irresponsible. Okay, they start using those kind of words. They stop calling you crazy, fun, and interesting, and you just become irresponsible, unreliable. Okay, so just wanted to get that little pet peeve off. Somebody said he's his own generation. He's his own generation. Uh yeah. Um so yeah, so when you guys, so if there's any young folks in there, when you guys are ready to start throwing them stones, talking about how old we are, just go talk to somebody who's a little bit younger than you, and you'll feel it. Like, I remember story time. I remember the first time I was walking, I was walking down the street, and somebody said, I said, "Hey, what's up, old head?" And I turned, oh shit, they talking to me. And I was in my 30s. Like, I think I was like either late 20s or 30s. Hey, what's up, old head? What happened? Oh, so that's where it is. Like, it's gonna hit you all of a sudden. You still think you young and you could be in the club, but you don't recognize that when you get to the club, you that old creepy ass dude in the corner. Okay. Still wearing your clothes from when you were young that you would wear to the club, and the kids are looking at you like you crazy. And God forbid that you in there dressed like them. Look at this. You know what I mean? Yeah, I can't show up to the club, my pants hanging down, my drawers showing. No, nobody want to see that. Wearing the Cuban links, you know what I mean? Tight ass t-shirt. Nobody wants to see that. That is not cute. Okay. The man who's lost in time. Um, let's see. Jamaican girl said, "Yeah, I was in my 20s when a kid called me ma'am." I know, right? Yes, sir. Like, wait, huh? And that's what you gotta say to yourself: the party's over. Okay, it is done now. You know, especially when you start talking about shows and stuff. You like, oh, this is that new show, the Dukes of Hazzard. That Dukes of Hazzard is old as hell. But they come out like, because everything's a repeat. Fall Guy, they just redid that. I watched the original show. What are you talking about? This, and there's nothing like this movie. This movie's terrible. Colt Seavers, like, you know what I mean? Come on now. Now 1978, you're not a boomer in 78. You're a Gen Xer. You still at Gen X. They would call you a boomer because I think for young people, when they use the term boomer, they just mean old. Okay. Or what they would consider old. Because old is relative. All right. Old is relative. There is something else that was said during the course of that little conversation, that little ditty, um, where they talked about like the kids struggling to let you move on. Like, Isabel was having a hard time with Cody moving on, or Christine moving on from her relationship with her dad. And I think that that's a real thing. And I think that that has to be talked about from the respect that, you know, when you are a parent and you find yourself separated from your significant other, particularly a parent who is divorcing your kids' parent, um, what happens a lot of times is we kind of get lost in the sauce as the adults in that situation because for the kids, they don't realize who you are. To them, in their whole life, you've always been a parent. That's just the reality of it. It's a weird thing to say, like everybody knows it. I know that, James, but it's just we have to vocalize it. As kids, you have always been a parent. Their whole lives, you've been a parent. You've been responsible for somebody else. You've been the responsible one. You've been the one that they mess up, and you're the fix it person. I make a mistake, you make the mistake okay. That's your role to that person, that child for the most part. They don't know you. Like one of the funniest things when I talk to my kid, like you have no idea how much fun I was before you came. I was that guy. I was the guy who would be in the club, at the party, at the bar, life of the party, having fun, doing whatever, just going places. I would travel places, do crazy stuff. I was that guy. Ironically, as you get older, I call like my aches and pains now, my youthful indiscretions. Like so, when my knee get jammed up, or your back a little tight, getting out of bed, you get out of bed a little slower. That's all from my youthful indiscretions because I was so reckless with my body, dancing and partying all night long, drinking and stuff, carrying on like a fool, carousing. That they don't know that side of you because you, mom and dad, you've always been home. You always been the responsible one. You don't want to go to bed on time. You don't want to tell them to go to bed because it's getting too late. Oh, mom and dad understood how cool it was to be up past 10 o'clock. Like, do you realize I had jobs where I would go to sleep for like 20 minutes and could get up and work a full day and do excellent work and then leave that job and go to happy hour right after. You know, you don't know who you're dealing with, son. You're a rookie. One of the funniest things to me is that you see your kids and every parent, I'm sure, especially Gen X parents, have said this to their children. Like, I have done everything you trying to do, I've done. The only difference is I've done it better. Okay, and probably more often. All right, anything you think that I'm being so sneaky, I'm being so tricky. You realize, I realized a long time ago that there's stuff that sometimes I have to let my kids get away with so that they can feel like they're doing something because I know exactly what it is they're doing. Okay. If it ain't hurt nobody and they trying to be, trying to have their little spark of independence, you gotta let them do it. They'll never know. Like, I already know. I already know. I know exactly what you're doing and why you're doing it. When you're sitting there looking sad and you don't want to talk, that's because you was talking to somebody and the relationship didn't work out. Or you thought somebody was cute and they didn't think you were cute and you're not yet ready to talk about it. I already know. I'm just waiting for you to confirm it. Okay? You try to be sneaky. Okay, yeah. I don't let them do nothing that's going to hurt them, but sometimes, like, you can't be on them all the time, catching them and catching them and catching them. It's too much. Sometimes you gotta let it slide a little bit. But yeah, but that's the whole thing with a lot of this. I think that listening to them talk, it really strikes me that Isabel and even some of the other kids, and this is natural for kids, they just don't see you as a sexual being. Can we put it where the ghost could get it? They don't see their parents as sexual beings. They see them as their parents. And even, watching you kiss somebody, oh, it's disgusting. Oh, they don't realize that mom and dad like it and they freak on too. They like doing their thing too. Okay. Shoot. I remember when I moved out of my parents' house, my brother was grown, he got his own house and stuff, and we all moved out, and my parents was there. To this day, I have a key to my parents' house. I could go in my parents' house anytime I want. In fact, it got to a point where my mom was still alive. She'd be like, "Yeah, you come over. Uh, why are you still ringing the doorbell?" I go over, I ring the doorbell. I have a key. I ring the doorbell. James, why are you ringing the doorbell? You come on in the house. You got a key. That's why I gave you a key. You come on in the house. Mom, I do not walk into grown folks' houses. Okay. I don't walk into grown folks' houses. I don't want to come in here and see something that I can't ever unsee. That's gonna scar my soul. Y'all adults. And you gonna do what adults do. I understand that. You know what I mean? That like you are my father's wife. And as such, I might come in here and see y'all tearing the kitchen. I don't want to see that. I'm good. I'm a bing bong. James, you come in, you come to this house, you let yourself. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I will let myself in the house. Next time I will let myself in the house. Next time I show up, bing bong. Oh man, you know that's right. Ain't no way in the world, Jake. You ain't gonna burn my eyes out. Give me the bleach. Okay. It's one thing to know they do it, it's another thing to see it. Shout out to Lizzy B. Thank you so much. Remember to hit that like button. And subscribe if you are not yet subscribed. Because we have fun on this channel. I'm telling you. Tim James, now I know why my dad didn't want us to have keys. You know, that's right. Shit, you might come in there, we walk around, they free. Once you out, you grown, they did their job. Shoot. You might come by the house, they be in there butt nakeds. You don't want to see that. You don't want to see them bucket nakeds. Okay. I'm telling you. That's it. That's their partner. Like you look at that's my mom. That's their partner. They and they'll act appropriately. So I think that all Christine is doing is she's acting like an adult. Okay, she's acting like an individual. She found a man that she's attracted to. He's attracted to her. They want to show each other affection. It is what it is. Let me know what you guys think about. I'm gonna put in a poll. Let's rock a poll real quick. Do you guys think Christine was going overboard? Make sure I spell right. With the PDAs in front of her kids. That's a quick yes and no. I'm just curious what you guys are thinking. Let's start that poll. Yeah. So, but yeah, so we had that. Then we had and well, like I'll be talking about some more of this stuff tomorrow with Sarah from Reality Squad. We'll be rocking it out. Oh, that's the light. Okay. Then there was something that Janella said. Then we gotta get into Mary and Cody. Then I want to open this up. But so Janelle had revealed that she had talked to Cody about Cody Pass and the property on Cody Pass. And she said one of the things that I tell you what, when she said it, I almost screamed on the inside, like it was just burning my ass up. She said she talked to Cody and she said she talked to Cody, and while she was talking to Cody, Cody had told her, like she had offered to Cody you could buy me out for the properties because we got to pay the properties off. And this is obviously before the properties got paid off. Janelle paid the properties off this summer. So no worries there. But Cody says to Janelle that he doesn't have the money. And I said to myself, I said, what? Wait, hold up. What? So he offers for Janelle to buy him out. Why am I buying you out? Buy you out for what? I already gave you money. You living in my money. What am I giving you money for? I'm giving you money for the privilege of me giving you money. Like I said, these ladies, I don't know whether they just trying to get into heaven. Like maybe they live like terrible lives. They were horrible people. They're like, you know what? I got to try to get into heaven. So I have to try to do something that's going to even things out. Because I'd have lost my entire shit. Pardon my French. I'd have lost my mind. I gave you money so you could get into a house. Then I give you money so we could buy this property. Then you turn around and tell me that you don't have the money to give me back from the house that I helped you buy. And you don't have the money to pay your share of the shared debt we owe on the land, but you want to take most of it. Yeah, that's another whole damn thing. You want to take most of the land, but you don't have none of the money. And then you gonna look me in the face and say, James, you could go ahead and give me some more money. Are you trying to get this? Like we would have to meet somewhere in like a stone quarry or something, because that's the kind of conversation. Some got to get broke. Like now I got to break something. A vase, a door, some got to get broke now. Like we cannot have this conversation and this house looks exactly like it do. We have to meet in the stone quarry where it's unbreakables, because that is crazy. That's crazy sauce. And when she said something else. She was like, when we were together, we had so much more money and the more things were possible. Janelle, you were living in a rental house. He had your ass staying in an RV, basically homeless. He didn't care where you was going, and he had you staying in a student apartment. Things were possible for him. They weren't possible for you. It's so weird. Like, I don't know. I just, I swear, man. Well, I have green hair. No, that's just the lighting. That would be hot though. Coming in hot. My green hair. That's how you know you made it. Am I muted? No, I think I'm okay. Where's that? Where's that? Hold up. Somebody just said it perfectly. Kristen M said, keep sweet and run me my money. Cody! That Kodiak. They call him Kodiak. Better run me my money. That's what I'm talking about, man. Because you would think, like in this conversation, if I was having this conversation with Cody, you would think I was hard of hearing, because every 5 seconds I would, what did you say? What? What? Hold up. Wait. Say that again. You would think I was hard of hearing. James must be losing his hearing, y'all. He can't hear nothing, because every time Cody says something, all he got to say, what? Huh? What are you talking about? Wait, what? Are you nuts? Yeah, what Cody said, like, so they had that whole conversation. And she did say, Cody had offered this, and I'm still gonna have to talk to an attorney. I was like, thank you. Talk to an attorney, because an attorney will set you straight. Okay, attorney will set you free. You need to talk to an attorney, Janelle. That's 100% great advice. Okay, and I like the idea of her consulting with an attorney, not just because she need to get what she's owed, but an attorney, talking to an attorney, it helps to give you some put some realism to what it is you're talking about with this other person. So sometimes you think like, I'm gonna get everything. An attorney be like, hold up now, you're not gonna get everything. Okay. And they'll bring you back to reality, and they'll tell you what is actually possible. In this situation, I'm sure an attorney is gonna be like, Janelle, wait, hold on, wait. How much did you kick in? No, we are going to definitely not do that. Okay, we're not agreeing to that. We're not agreeing to you giving him more money. And you know what I mean? He get a cash out fund. Like this dude is walking around. He's treating Janelle like she's a walking, talking slush fund. Where you know what I mean, with her own breathing apparatus. Like she's just a bank fund with a breathing apparatus that every time he gets a little short, he just hits up Janelle and she just cash out on it. She just cash app it. You know, that's just not the way it works. That's not fair to her. That's not fair to anybody involved. Okay. And it's not fair to Cody. Okay. As crazy as that is, it's not fair to Cody. You know why? Because that's not how life works. That's not how life works. Um, but we have Brittany, not Brittany, $1.99 super chat. How you talk crap and owe her money, right? And what makes it even crazy, Brittany, I appreciate the $1.99 super chat, and it's a great point. Because what even drives me crazier is you know that when he said it with all kinds of confidence. Like I would have been embarrassed to say that to her. I would have been embarrassed. Like, yeah, you know, because I would be looking at it like, you know, the whole reason why we bought property on Cody Pass is on my insistence. If I'm Cody, you know, he insisted that they buy property on Cody Pass because he has these high flying hopes and dreams. And, you know, he's a dream man, he's a dream maker. So the dream weaver. So he's up there dream weaving, talking about how they're gonna buy this land on Cody Pass. It's gonna be so easy, and they could definitely develop the land and build houses. They could do it all in 6 months, just like he was there trying to give her the choke no joke with the we could go out and we could buy Christine's house, then you could live here for like 2 months, then you could rent this and we could build a house. And then Janelle had to say point blank, like, okay, well, if I buy this and I rent this and I'm building a house on Cody Pass, where am I going to stay? And Cody's like, well, I mean, we gonna make it happen. You just gotta, where there's a will, there's a way. Where is she going to stay? So you know he's the dream man. And as the dream man who's convincing these people to do these things, how do you look at your wife and say, yeah, I'm gonna get you into this? Once you get her into it and she invests a whole bunch of money into it, and you have to look her in the face and say, you know, I can't afford to do this anymore. I can't give you my cut, my end. I don't have it. And you don't even feel embarrassed? I would be embarrassed. You know, like I said, I mean, a long time ago, like some of this stuff, I'd have wrote off the land. Like, you know, you take the land, you sell the land because I can't give you the money back for the house that I'm living in. You know, but this dude has no shame. This is what happened when you deal with this shame. When you can't shame the shameless. Okay. If he doesn't feel any type of self-reflection, he doesn't have that he doesn't have that gear, that muscle where he can look at himself and say, you know, I'm wrong here. This kind of makes me an ass. If he can't do that, then you know you're gonna be stuck. But let me give you a little something. Yay, Brittany, not Brittany. I pity the fools, Mr. T's voice, right? Another Gen X in the house. Some people are like, Mr. T, who's that? I pity the fools. Oh man. I couldn't do that. But yeah, so we move right along. Now I'm gonna open up the floor. I did kind of like the to see the David Christine side of it. I thought that was kind of cool. Um, you know, I think that between David and Christine, like they talked about it being scary in a new relationship and how scary that is. You know, it's not only scary because they're older, but anytime you are, or even because they're moving fast, but anytime you develop deep feelings for somebody, having deep feelings for somebody and being able to exhibit those feelings and be open about having those feelings uh requires courage. It requires courage in the sense that when you when you feel that deeply for somebody and you let them in and you let them know, you're making yourself vulnerable. And the ability to make yourself vulnerable for another person requires courage. And I hats off to Christine, hats off to David for being able to do that. But this is like on a counterpoint of it, I think this is also why Cody suffers the way he does, is because he doesn't have the strength of character or the courage to be able to open himself up fully to even Robin. You know, maybe there's a reason why that's the way it is. I don't know. But if Cody was so in love with Robin, he so desperately wants to be with Robin, and Robin is in fact his soulmate, then he should open himself up to Robin and be vulnerable to Robin. But it sounds like a lot of their arguments and disagreements are because Cody is closing himself off and walling himself in because he's too scared to be hurt again. And a lot of what he's talking about, where the one grace that I will give the OG3 when they talk about Cody being different in this, as you know, where he is now as opposed to where he was when they first started dating. I think that that difference is very subtly the fact that when they were younger and they were dating, Cody could be more open because he didn't feel like he lost anything. But through this loss, he feels like he can't be open. He feels like he's shutting down. And because he's shutting down and because he's becoming this scared little boy who is hiding behind his walls so that he can protect himself because he's too scared of being hurt, he's actually just becoming a bitter ass old man. And I think that that's what they're referring to. So it's a really sad situation. Oh, big shout out to Teresa Skinner with the 1999 super sticker. Thank you so much, Teresa. I appreciate you. I do, I do, I do. Let me give you a little something, something. Teresa. Amaze balls, amazing. Teresa Skinner. Yeah, but I really think that that I'll commend Christine and David on that front. And it, you know, it anything seems like it's moving fast. And it, you know, their relationship did move fast. I was concerned because I didn't want to see Christine get hurt, but at the same time, you know, I do recognize that sometimes when, you know, as they used to say in church, you know, sometimes when the Lord puts a message on your heart, not everybody gets copied on the email. Okay, not everybody gets CC'd. When you feel that drive or that passion, you know, for Christine and David, that's between the two of them. They feel that drive, that passion, that compassion, that love, that burning desire to be with one another. You know, their kids don't understand it because they don't feel it. And it's, you know, in fairness, is not for them. So it everybody should be scared. Everybody should be a little nervous. And I get the kids being nervous for their mom and seeing their mom move on and afraid that she's going to get herself hurt because you were there holding her hand when she was going through her breakup with Cody. You don't want to see her go through that pain again. But in order for you to experience any real happiness, you have to make yourself uh open to the possibility that you could get hurt. It's just part of the deal. Um, so I think that's something that's noteworthy. Now, I'm gonna just cut this for 5 minutes, and I'm open the floor. I'll still talk about it, but the whole thing with Cody and Mary, guys, I got to tell you straight up. I know there are some professionals who are big fans of you finding closure. You need to meet with the people, and they're the communications folks. You need to meet with them and have a conversation and talk to them, and that way you can get closure. Me personally, I hate the concept of closure. I think that when you closure for anybody in this type of relationship, the end of these types of relationships is you finding peace and solace within yourself. It's you finding acceptance. Like you grieve, you mourn, then you learn to accept, you deal with, and you kind of navigate your world around that loss. But I don't think that there's any real world application of closure that involves you going to talk to somebody whom you are no longer in a relationship with. unless you're trying to build that relationship up, which is not necessarily closure. Maybe you're closing down the fact that you guys are no longer having a romantic relationship and you're moving into a friendship. Maybe then, but for you to try to find like some kind of answer as to why your relationship didn't work, this is a prime example why I don't believe in that shit. This prime example why I don't believe in it. Pardon my French. I'm trying not to curse, but that's why I'm not a big believer in it. Because what Mary did was she just put herself in a situation where she was trying to be open to Cody, trying to be honest. She's trying to tell him, like, you know, I cared for you, I loved you. We were there together. We were trying to figure things out as young people moving forward because she sees herself and the relationship one way. Cody, on the other hand, sees that relationship, that involvement with her a completely different way. And because he sees it the way he sees it, and because he's angry for how he is being perceived in exiting that relationship, he's just there to hurt Mary. Period. Full stop. He's not trying to get no understanding. He's not trying to, help her to understand. He's not there to help her move on. He's not there to help her heal and become a whole person so that she can move on with her life and start her new days with somebody else. He doesn't give a damn if she moves on. He's there to bang her ass up. That's it. He's trying to bang her up. And that's why he shows up. He comes in with his little pithy attitude. Mary says off the rip, he comes in hostile. He came in hot. Okay? He came in hot. And he comes in and he's talking crap to her. And she says to him, look, I didn't realize this was going to be a fight, because if this is a fight, I don't even want to have the conversation. I'm going to disconnect. And then he encouraged her to keep going with the conversation. Why? Not because he's trying, okay, I realize that I came in kind of rough and I don't want to insult you. I just really want to have a productive conversation. No, I want to keep the conversation going because I need to square my feet so that I can rock you properly. And that's exactly what I saw him doing. He's just sitting there bullying her. This is just a form of bullying. And I say it's bullying because Cody has a substantive advantage in this relationship. Why does he have a substantive advantage? Because he doesn't give a damn about what happens at the end of it. He's playing with house money. What's playing with house money? When you go to the casino and you go to the casino and say you show up $200, you slap it on the table, you win $2,000. You take your $200, you put that in your pocket, and you playing with house money. Why is it fun to play with house money? Because logically, it's money that you didn't have before. You're not playing with your money. This isn't your rent money. This isn't your electric bill money. This isn't your car note money. This is the casino's money. You playing with their money. So you don't give a damn what happens with that money. Like, realistically, you probably will care if you start losing. I could have had $2,000. But, it really, Rubber Road, when you walk out of there, you quantify it, you haven't lost anything. When Cody comes over to Mary's house and he has this conversation with her, and if the conversation would have devolved into F you and F, that's the real F and F. F you and F your mama and Bob, you mama hama. You rat what that you doing that kind of stuff. If it would have devolved into that, Cody would have walked out of there, he'd have got his car, he would have laughed. Okay? He wouldn't be mad because he doesn't care. And because he doesn't care, he doesn't have the burden of caring. Mary, on the other hand, she does care. And she is putting her heart out there. She is invested. She did invest her life. She did take her commitment serious. So when he says mean and negative and nasty things to her, she feels it. It's a cost for her. It doesn't cost him anything. She says something nasty to Cody. That's just justification as to why he treated her like he did. You know what I mean? That's just retroactive justification. You can just go back and be like, see, that's exactly why I'm not with your ass. That's exactly why I'm with you. Because of what you just said to me. I'm just responding to you. Yeah, but you didn't have to say it with such confidence. You didn't have to go and tell the preacher man the truth. But yeah, so I mean that's the first thing. I'm probably gonna do a whole video about that because again, like the whole like seeking. I know people say that you need to have the conversation. That's why when Christine was saying it to Janelle, I'm not a big fan. You need to have a conversation. He'll figure it out. What I gotta have a conversation for? To tell him and explain to him, ask his permission to leave? No. He know because I don't call him no more. His phone calls don't get returned. He figured he'll be fine. He'll be fine. But yeah, maybe that's just me being petty. I apologize. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of the whole, you go back and try to have a conversation to clear stuff up because the person that you're talking to, like even with Mary, she said something. What did Mary say? She said, uh, I wish you knew how amazing of a person I really am. And what did Cody say? He didn't say, wow, you know what? I am missing out. I could have taken this opportunity to figure out who you were as a person. And I realize now that I never really knew you and how awesome you were as an individual. You've accomplished so much since we broke up. You've accomplished so many things on your own. And the only way you could do that is if you're an amazing person, a strong-minded, determined person. Nope. What did Cody say? Bon voyage. The only thing that he possibly could have said that would have been worse than that, maybe a little more tone deaf, if he had looked at it and said, hasta la vista, baby. That's Gen X. That's a Gen X thing. Terminator 2, hasta la vista, baby. That's always like a little stupid ass cliche that he drops on her. And she gives like the heartfelt, like, we are committed to you and I wanted to be with you. Oh, well. Because again, it doesn't mean anything to him. Like it's a sadistic relationship. Um, and then some other stuff I'll probably wind up covering during the course of the week. But I'm going to open this up as I continue to talk about it. Let me get the stream. Oh, let's see what oh wow. Okay. I gotta open this. All right. So the answer to the poll. All right. Do you think? Let me just drop this down so I'm not staring at the sun. Here comes the sun. Okay. And why did it do that? I don't know. I'm going to end this poll, but okay, here we go. I can't even see the results from my poll. What the hell? Like 59% said no. So majority of them said that it wasn't weird that Christine was involved. So that's awesome. Can't get the other deets. But I want to drop the link. As I mentioned earlier, I can only give 5 minutes per call. So once you finish with your 5 minutes, if you want to call back in, you are more than welcome to call back in. I just want to give as many people an opportunity to come up as possible. So drop that link. I'm going to throw it up to the top, pin it to the top so you guys can see it. And you are more than welcome to join. Taking calls. I might have to come up with a call thing. Okay, got our first caller. Before I jump to that, yeah, just make sure I got everything. So we got Betty Allridge coming up. Are you ready, Betty? All right, Betty Allridge. Wait, hold on 1 second before I do that. Got so many things jumping off on these screens. My big screens. All right. There we go. All right. Betty Aldridge in the house. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Betty Aldridge.
Thank you, darlings. Hope you've had a marvelous week. First, y'all cracked me up with the age thing. Like, I'm old. I know how old I am. But, honey, let me tell you, my kids are big mad because I'm going to see Godsmack and Five Finger Death Punch this week. I might be the oldest one jamming out, but I'm going to have fun.
Okay.
So,
Nothing wrong with that at all. Nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah, I can't wait. But I'll try to make it quick because, I'm Southern, so we tend to go the scenic route sometimes. So, let me just reel it back in, and it's okay to say stop, break, because, that's me. But watching this episode, oh, my God. I don't know if you've ever heard of the play Hogan's Goat. But
Hogan's Goat. Okay.
Hogan's Goat. And I swear Cody is the epitome of Hogan's Goat. If you ever watch the play, you'll understand what I mean. I mean, it's just like, it's life imitating art. It's just amazing. And you'll be like, holy shit, when you watch it.
So
Pardon my language. I'm so sorry.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Like, as far as the Janelle thing, oh my, I don't want to piss anybody off because I love Janelle. But like I've said before, when she gives him their cloak of charity and saying things like charisma, clueless, oblivious, it's so fluffy.
Mm-hmm.
It takes some of the responsibility off her shoulders of saying,
Right.
you know what, I allow, as you said, he can only allow Robin to say and do. Well, at the
Right.
same time, the responsibility of these women is to only allow him to do. And like, watching all these interviews this week, it just made me like, because they hold themselves up as a example of women's empowerment. Well,
Right.
until you develop a good case of bitch slappery, no, you're not.
I like the
You know,
phrase. I like the phrase on that. Okay. I like the turn of phrase. Bitch
well,
slappery.
I mean, he needs a good verbal dressing down and to be done publicly.
Right.
Because
Right.
I hate when these women act like they're so empowering women, but you haven't addressed anything. You're still saying the children should answer the phone when he calls, respect where he's at. Absolutely not.
Mhm.
Why are you allowing this man to continually berate your children, expect them to answer, expect to give him a cloak of charity, and think and it's not just his children, it's their spouses, their others, their significant others. They're going to be picking up pieces every time he calls, every time he makes a comment. Their
Right.
spouse, because I've been married 40 years. I mean, I had things happen. My spouse had to pick me up. I've
Mhm.
done the same for him. I'm sure you have with your wife, kids. When you have those, when they're hurt, you're there. And when they're hurting, you're hurting. So they're like the
Right.
silent victim in it. Every time
Right.
Cody says something that is so derogatory,
Mhm.
like his favorite people, his son in laws, his whatever, those are victims as well of that. So it's just like, ugh. Sorry, I didn't mean to get off topic. Like I said, sometimes I take the scenic route.
No, that's
I have
excellent
to
point.
pump the brakes. I'm not like squirrel. I'm more like duck, duck, goose. It is me.
But they
But
have to develop a case of bitch slappery. Gotcha.
yes, a bitch slapper is when sometimes, you just got to slap a bitch and put them in their place and be like, hold up. And that can be verbal. I mean, like, I'm not condoning violence.
No, I got you. I got
The
you.
verbal dressing down,
Right.
not
Right.
the vernacular, but that's what I call it. Bitch
Right.
slapper. So, I mean, I've done it a time or two in my life.
Right.
Like, when you just got to stand up and you say, hold up now. And I wish I would see these women do that more in public rather
Mhm.
than what they say. And some of it might be like, they have to be professional. And I get that, the decorum. There's
Right.
times that you have to be professional and decorum. And you have to put
Right.
on that southern charm and be a lady. But sometimes I wish they would just take the gloves off and say what it actually is. And Janelle is still talking about the money. A long
Yeah.
time ago, she should have taken that power back, not just for herself, for her children. And that started in Vegas when she moved those children, moved them
Right.
from a solid foundation into a home where they didn't have that anymore. They no longer had a solid foundation. Everything was like an earthquake and all rumbling and going. Yeah. And now you expect them to answer the phone when he calls, be there when he calls. Why? At
Right.
some point, you have to stop and say, you know what? This is not healthy. It's not good for my children. And no, I don't expect them to call.
Right.
So,
Right.
you know,
Right.
like they're not your best friend anymore. These are still your children, and you have to respect them as adults. God knows he wouldn't survive my house because I mean we are multiracial, multicultural, multi everything in my house, and that poor man would just be pulling his little curls right out of his head.
He said
I
he'd be
mean,
in trouble.
oh God, yeah. I mean, like we literally 7 nations. That's us. And I don't mean like this, and I mean like first son-in-laws, daughter-in-laws, cousins, you name it. That's us because we
Okay.
literally have Asian, Mexican, Black, White. We have Buddhist, agnostic, Christian, Muslim, and we all get together and we manage to get together really good. But if you took a picture, you'd be like, "Is this a business meeting or a family?" Because we have a blast.
Right.
You know,
Right.
that's the only sign on my door is if you have prejudices, leave them at the door. You're not welcome.
There you go. There you go. It's a
So,
family affair.
oh God, yeah. I mean, like if you walked in my house, you'd love it because, like, literally, if you can't find somebody to talk to in my house, there's something wrong with you.
There you go. There you
I
go.
mean, I mean, God knows we talk about everything. We just don't do politics or religion.
Well, that's what safe. That's a safe bet always. Safe bet
Yeah,
always.
that's the only things we don't do. We don't do politics. We don't do religion. We leave that at the door.
There you
Everything
go.
else is welcome. Have a good time.
I heard that, but I
Well,
have to
I know
move
my
on.
5 minutes is up, and like I said, I was trying not to get off on the scenic route, which I sometimes do. But
No,
like I
I
said, think about
appreciate
the
it.
phrase "bitch slappery."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love it. I love it.
So just everybody could use a little bit of that every now and again,
Just a
including
touch.
myself. I mean, I've been bitch slapped with verbal before, but like, oh, well, damn, put me in my place.
Right, right. Excuse me.
Right. It's like, oh, excuse me. So, we all have to every now and again take a step back and say, oh, did I do that?
Right, exactly,
Pardon me.
exactly.
Well, you have a wonderful evening. Thank you for taking my call.
Well,
I've
thank
enjoyed it. I
you.
love your show.
Thank you. I appreciate
If
it.
you're ever in this way, stop on in. I'm in Wheeling Island
All right, I might
in the
just be
Virginia
careful.
part.
Be careful about the invitations because I might pop up on you.
Girl, come on. We'll throw on a barbecue. Even in the winter, I got a backyard grill.
All right, I heard that. You'll be both. You'll be both. You're right. You
Oh, yeah, I love
you
it. When
do
it's
like I
snowing
do it.
outside, you throw some burgers on there.
Right?
Mm. Nothing. So, like I said, but this show just has me wild up. I'm fixing to go after your show. Probably go start cooking.
Right.
Think I'm gonna make a nice big breakfast because I cook when I get wound up.
Right, right.
So,
Well, that's the only way to do it. But thank you
oh
so much.
yeah. Well, thank you so much. You have a wonderful evening again. Thank
You
you for
too.
taking the call. Thank you for your patience.
All right, no
To
worries.
everybody out there, I didn't mean to offend if I did. It was,
It's all love. You have a great night.
you too, sweetheart, and
All right.
everybody there. I love y'all all.
All right.
Good night, sweetie.
Good night. Awesomeness. Awesomeness. It's a little bit of bitch slappery. And actually, Betty makes a great point before I go to the next call. We have Rebecca up next. But before I go to the next call, Betty made an excellent point where she talked about the spouses having to pick up the pieces. I think that's something that also goes sometimes a little ignored or we miss it, is that when Cody doesn't call or he calls and he says something a little rough or terse or crazy to some of these kids and they're having to deal with it, it's not just them. The impact isn't just them. And I think this is part of the reason why Maddie is taking a position that she's taken with regard to how she deals with Cody. Because when Cody puts her in a mood because he wants to talk about her mom, Janelle, and he puts her in a mood, it just doesn't affect her relationship with her husband, but she has small kids that she has to deal with. And so that can turn her in a way that she's not as productive as she needs to be. Maybe she's not taking care of the things she needs to take care of, et cetera, et cetera. So, that's an excellent point from Betty. But up next we have before I go to Rebecca, I have one more thing that I have to drop. We had a super chat come in from YouTube is my time machine. What's going on? $5 super chat. Hey, James, have you noticed that Cody is turning on Robin a little with each episode? She's definitely next. Yeah. The time is over. Yeah, it's getting tight over there at that house. Because like I said, I think Cody's been hurt in such a way that he is experiencing difficulty connecting with Robin because he's so scared of being hurt again. He's so scared of how things are going to look. So it's actually the cowardice of it all that I think is going to drive him nuts and is eventually going to break up that relationship too. But yeah, excellent point. Let me get a little something. That's my theme song at the end. All right. But up next we have Rebecca. Rebecca, what's going on? How you doing?
Hey, James, how are you?
Very well.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, this was a crazy episode tonight, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
It's so far it has not been boring because Cody digs himself a hole and then he goes down 20, 30 feet every episode and covers himself. I mean, he's ridiculous
Yeah, he
every
is.
single time. I mean, he's absolutely trash after this episode. I mean, to discuss all your intimacy and whatever. I mean, that's gross. Let's just face it. You're gross and your hand gesture, you're gross. You're gross. He's, just it's not gentlemanly, it's trash. He's too old to be trashy.
Right, right.
Let's not even pretend. And it's funny that like he said that about because all along he had been talking about it's not about sleeping with other women. It's not about that. It's about the family and the kids and what we're building.
Right.
No, you just proved that you just said that. You said, nope, it's about, oh yeah, we'll just F and F, blah, 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 whatever. That's disgusting. I want to boil my body even saying that because it's disgusting. It is
Right.
so gross. It's so offensive. But yeah, it's not true. He has no interest in anything but sleeping with women. So he's a big fat liar. Cody's a big fat liar. Once again, everybody hash mark that one down. He lied again about something else. And then, I agree like with what that last person was just saying about how your super chat comment about how, with Robin, she's in for it too because we saw that last week. He doesn't care about these little tender kids anymore. He wants McKelty and Tony and their kids to move in. We'll get a big house. You move in with us because his kids are not fun anymore. Sorry, Robin. Your 5 kids are not fun. They're, they stink on ice. He wants them out. He wants these new babies in there. He's not interested in your kids.
Right.
And
right.
And I serve Robin and I buy her jewelry and whatever. He's very transactional. So he's going to turn on her later and blame her and resent her and say, I've got to pay all of this child support for Truly and we're broke and it's your fault.
Right, right.
It's your fault, Robin. So run for the hills now, Robin. Run now because he's done with you too. He can't love anybody else. He can't love anybody else but himself. And him being over there for for that whole thing with Mary, that was totally fake. He's just trying to get screen time. And did you catch that? He said about I'm Gen X, but I'm not 1,000. All the kiddos, I'm not a boomer, but I know this about when he mentioned Sonny and Cher.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right? Come on, we all know that. We're Gen X too, but we're not stupid. We know that. Okay, kiddos, let me give you a little history lesson here for everybody in the cheap seats. What that is their show was canceled when they were separated. When Sonny and Cher separated, their show was canceled.
Right, right.
That's what he's talking about. All he's concerned with, he doesn't care about Mary and closure and whatever. He wants to make sure the cash is rolling in, the show stays on, he stays relevant in at least her life or something. So sister wives can stay afloat.
Right, right.
And Robin sent him over to do that. She sent him over to take care of that. Go ahead. Make sure, go and invite her to Christmas or whatever, because we've got to keep this whole sham family going here. We can't stand her and you can't hug and kiss on me with her here and you hate her guts, Cody. We'll put a pin in that, but we want to keep the cash rolling in.
Right, right.
I mean, he told on himself when he said Sonny and Cher. I was like, oh, dude, we know what you're talking about. We're not stupid. Come on, man. We're not stupid.
Well, the problem is that you're age appropriate, so you recognize what the reference was. I think that he thinks it. I don't know what it is with him, between him and Robin. I think that they think that they're dealing with people who are unaware.
I guess I know, but it was like when he said that, it's like, okay, we know what you're talking about here.
Right.
mean, maybe the producers, when he said that, maybe they're in their 20s and they have no clue. Like, Sonny and Cher? Oh, you mean the lady that goes in Vegas and has, done hair commercials before? Maybe they might know that, right? I mean, they have
Right.
no idea, Oh, I think he was a mayor once and he died like a really long time ago. Sonny died like a really long time ago.
Yeah.
I mean,
Skin
yeah.
accident.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I mean, I think maybe, that's how the production lets that slide by when he says that kind of stuff. It's like, they need us on production. I'd call him on everything instantly.
Right.
What
That's
do you
why
mean?
you wouldn't be on production now.
I know. I know.
He could have it. He could have it.
I
Wait a
know, 'cause
minute.
I know, 'cause I wouldn't let him get away with that. I'd be like, all right, I know what you're saying.
Right,
You
right.
know, Mama raised no fools here. She didn't raise no fools. I'm not stupid. I know exactly, yeah. I know
That
this was it was such a funny ageist episode, wasn't it? It was like, Tony Tony and McKelty trying to, slink around to get their own show, him shooting off his mouth and whatever, and Boomer and all this garbage. It's like, I don't feel like I'm one of those people, I don't like people to use words they don't understand or can't spell.
right, right.
Like if you can't spell it, you don't know what it means. Don't say Cold War unless you can tell me who were the players involved in the Cold War and you can tell me the dates that it happened. Otherwise, shut your chat, shut your yap,
Right,
let
right.
that cut under your nose heal for a while. You know, right? Just shut your yapper for a while and just, let people think you're intelligent and just don't ruin it by opening your mouth.
Right, right. Yeah, that's the old saying. It's better to be thought or fooled than to open your mouth and prove it.
That's straight from the Bible. That's straight from the Bible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love that to see Peyton look over. You could tell he's looking over at where I think where Aspen and Mitch were, like when Tony was shooting off his mouth when he's like, "Oh, it's not double digits, that you haven't dated double digits." And you could see like Peyton doing like this, "Oh my God, I can't believe I'm here with this idiot."
Right,
Shooting
right,
off his fat mouth.
right. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, it's kind of the lost point where you're still talking about their mom.
Exactly. That's what I
You know
would
what
have
I
done.
mean?
I would have slapped my husband into next week if he mouthed off about my mom or something. I'd
Yeah,
be like,
yeah. Like
"Shut
this,
it."
I know we got to have like this open sex talk with our parent because it's the show, but this is still my mother. Like, I don't want to, I don't want to
I
start talking
know.
about like what they doing and what they not doing. Like,
I
some
know.
things I just
Yeah,
don't need to know. I don't need to know that. I don't need to know that.
exactly. And yeah, and poor Truly sitting there. It's like, you know what? These are adult kids. For one thing, they're adult kids, but you're still the mom, Christine. You're still the
Mm,
mom. It doesn't matter if they're married and the one's got 3 kids. It doesn't matter. Maybe hold a little back, and remember she's not your girlfriend. McKelty's not your girlfriend. She's your daughter.
right,
So hush, just kind of put a lid on it a little bit and recognize that you do still have a kid at the house with you. So if you date somebody, Truly's dating somebody too. She's got somebody in her life too. So maybe kind of question that.
right,
Or
right.
so I totally agreed with that. It was like, oh yeah, it is a little fast for these poor kids. It is a little fast
Yeah,
because, and how do you know she's making really good decisions? I mean, David seems like a great guy. And I mean, whatever, too late now. This is all like a moot point for us all now. Anyways, happy first year anniversary for them. But, still, it's like she just got out of a really bad relationship and she kept saying, oh, he's bald and he's really kind. And people said, what did she say about David? She was like, he has a reputation for being honest with people and whatever. And it was like that
right,
kind of
right.
that one got me because I thought, does that mean that
Cody
Cody
doesn't.
doesn't?
Yeah, that's
He does not have a reputation for honesty. And I mean, we know he's not kind. We know he's not. He wasn't kind to anybody.
right.
But I mean, it's like she's trying to go for the exact opposite, and that just
It was a
reeks
shot.
of,
It was definitely a
yeah.
shot.
Well, and it reeks of rebound situation. I want
Right.
somebody different from my ex, and it's like, yeah, you should. I mean, you can do that. fine, have somebody different from your ex, but
Right.
you need to think about you. And do I like me? Do I like
Right.
the
Exactly.
person I am? Yeah. So, yeah, crazy stuff. And did you
Awesome.
catch that when she's serving? One last thing I was thinking when Cody is serving Robin. Oh, I'm serving her, rubbing her feet, buying her jewelry. Doesn't that mean that she made the COVID rules? Isn't that pretty much we're spelling that out that, he's serving. I can't love you, Mary, because I don't want to serve you, which that's like twisted for a marriage to be like
Right.
that. I've been
Right.
married 25 years to my husband. So, I mean, you know, I don't look at it like anybody is serving somebody. It's not like that. It's like, you know what? He's my friend. I like him. I want to do something for him. He likes me. He wants to do something for me. Do I demand it? No. Does he demand it? No. We
Right.
just like each other. So, I mean, what a nasty way to look at marriage. I want
Well,
some to
that's
serve.
also why he has 3 divorces.
Right.
So there you go. That explains a lot. It explains in the description. But
It
thank
does.
you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But thank
Yeah.
you so much for calling in. I appreciate you.
Yeah, no, I enjoy watching your show and your take on everything, and
Oh,
all
thank
of
you.
your audience is very respectful and very kind and lots of fun, and they crack me up. You need to read some of the other comments in there. They are hilarious.
Yeah, I
I
try
don't
to
know.
get as many as I can, but it's hard with a one man show.
Yeah, I hope you get to at least go back and read them. Some of these people are hilarious funny. They say the funniest things. So,
That's
yeah,
awesome. I'm glad you enjoy it. We
I
have
do.
quite the community.
You do. You do. And we're looking forward to tomorrow night. All of us are. We can't wait.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much.
You
Appreciate you
have a
calling
good
in.
week. Yeah, enjoy your week and goodbye, everybody. See
All
you
right,
later.
thanks. That's awesome. Awesome, awesome. Before we get to Rebecca, wait, did I just do that wrong? Oh, yeah. So actually the next person will be Sassy. But I have one thing from my QM. QM said 4.99 super chat. Cody was outrageous this episode, but trash for no reason. F and F, I have never. Also, Betty was everything tonight. Bitch slap is needed. Bitch slappery. Yeah, right? Let me give you a little something, something. Awesomeness. Awesomeness. Let me just get this so I can click into my thing. Sassy Experience. What's going on? How you doing?
Hey, hey, hey. Do I have to turn my camera on? Please
No,
say
no,
no, because it's
uh,
late at night here. Okay,
no, you're
okay,
good. You're
okay.
good.
I'm in bedtime mode. Well, first of all, let me say this. You now have Dreamweaver in my head. It is now the earworm. I will hear that song the rest of the night and first thing into the morning. um, but I posted on my super chat that you're not gonna look like the Lion Man from Beauty and the Beast. You remember that show from the 80s? It was a TV show. Okay, we're
Yes.
dating ourselves, right? Gen Xers.
Right.
That's who Cody looks like, and I actually posted it in a Facebook group. But what you ain't gonna do if I was married is you have drugged me for almost a decade, made me feel like crap, simply because I chatted with someone online
Mhm.
after you asked me for a divorce, forced me into a divorce. Let's be real about it. Made me feel like crap. For almost a decade, gaslit me the whole way, basically rape me emotionally and financially, if we're honest about it, and then bring your raggedy ass to my house and disrupt my peace. Like I would have been moving furniture up and down. I'm gonna just be real.
Right.
This quote unquote closure. This is where I slightly disagree with you, and it's more nuanced than anything. I think it was more for him. I think it was more production in Robin asking him to go over there. And I think Mary agreed because you could tell she was in a better place and trying to get to a better place, right?
Right.
Because she wasn't on the defense with everything. and she let him have her say. And when she said, if this is going to be an argument, I'm not going to do it. That's when I kind of realized, yeah, she's definitely trying to move on. So it was more for him. But how dare you show up at my door with your attitude and your heaviness, and you come to blame me because essentially you don't want to accept the fact that you did abandon me. Like,
Right.
you quote unquote forgave me for this catfishing thing or whatever. At least that's what you said. And so I was steadily trying to work to repair our marriage, and you were hustling me the whole time because you just basically needed me there financially. And then when I got the gumption to leave, you're mad because I didn't do it the way you wanted me to do it. If you don't get your ass out of here.
Right. Right.
Like, I remember in one episode there was like an ottoman or something sitting over to the side.
Hmm.
I've been throwing that at him so quick, because what you ain't gonna do is disrupt my peace, not when I've gotten over you, when I'm moving beyond you. But um kind of quick change real quick. The Christine prequel, I'm kind of over it because we saw the wedding, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
and the build
Right.
up to that. So I'm kind of over the prequel. I'm not anti Christine. I just don't give her all the credit and love that everybody else does. Because and I think Betty was kind of alluding to this earlier with Janelle. I, I do give her credit for finally getting up and leaving, but in my mind, she should have left a long time ago. Like, it didn't just get bad; it had been bad. So
Right.
I don't give her as much credit. And one thing that bothers me within the OG3 is they don't like one another, particularly like Janelle and Christine don't like Mary for whatever reason because they all didn't get along. But when you really listen to their stories and you go back, Cody was playing them each against each other, right? So when he
Right.
got tired of Mary, he brought in Janelle, right? And he showered on Janelle. And then when he got tired of Janelle and Mary, he brought in Christine, right?
Hmm.
And I always say that basically Christine's problem was she was Robin before Robin.
Right.
And when he got tired of her, then that's when everything hit the fan. And I get it, get up and leave, but it bothers me how they're so mean and hateful to Mary without realizing this man essentially played us against each other, and even in some sense played us against our own children.
Right.
You know? A quick question, and you may not remember, which one of Janelle's sons did not want to move to Vegas? I mean, move to Flagstaff. Remember when they were getting ready to move, and one of her kids was like at the end of their high school career, and it was a
Gabriel.
bad time?
It was Gabriel.
Okay,
He was actually,
Gabriel.
I think, moving into his junior year. And at that
Yeah,
point, he was playing sports, and he had recruiters coming down to check him out playing sports. I think for wrestling too. And he
right,
had
right.
opportunities that he missed out on because they moved to Arizona. Because once you, like, if you're at a school, you're kind of in that program and you're set up.
Exactly.
And so the recruiters coming down, they're seeing you in the prime of that program. Whereas if you move somewhere else, you might not.
Right.
It's a new program. Your new
You
coaches,
do
new
good to even red shirt on to the team.
right, right, new students. Like, and so you come onto the team. Like, you might get on the team, and they had a guy who's been working since freshman year to get a spot for a specific division or weight class, and here you come, the new kid from out of town, and you're struggling to get on the team. And so they already know
Right.
this guy. So you might get red, like you said, red shirted. Maybe you make the team, but they put you in a different environment with a different set of
Yeah.
coaches, and you don't excel as well. So and
Yeah.
his friends, he had a girlfriend there, so he wasn't trying to move, but they didn't care,
Right.
you know.
Right. Right. And so see, it's little things like that that make me, not give them all the kudos and love because they made a lot of sacrifices. Christine talks about, when they lived in the house in Lehigh and the trailer and all of that, how she made a lot of sacrifices for her kids. So it was like, yeah, it took you a long time to finally stand up. And so some of this disdain you have for Mary for whatever reason, I'm gonna need you to pull back, sis. And I'm also need you to pull back on this, I'm every woman, because you're not. Because you're not, you kind of let your kids suffer and linger, and Janelle as well, for a long time. Now, I still like them, don't get me wrong, but I just don't sing their praises the way everyone else does. And like I said, I'm kind of over the prequel because
Okay.
we saw the wedding or whatever. But I do want to get, because I am a strong Mary fan, and I want to give her credit and kudos to whomever her therapist, or a life coach or whomever she's seeing, um, that got her through that little scene. And if you watch her on Instagram now, she's having a lot of fun with Cody's BS and whatnot. She's putting up cute little reels. But I swear, but I'll say this and then I'll drop. Um, she actually got under his skin, and again, that's where I kind of differ with you about the closure thing, because it was not for her, it was for him. And the more that she did not beg him or try to argue with him, the more it got, because to your point, had she been me and done what I done, he would have been happy. But
Right.
because he couldn't rattle her the way he's so accustomed to breaking her down and dragging her emotionally to where she's depleted and she's begging and erratic, he couldn't get to her. And that pissed him off to no end. She actually won on this episode. She won him tonight because he couldn't rattle her, and that angered him. It pissed him off. She wouldn't take equal responsibility in front of him. She wouldn't say, well, maybe I should have done it differently. She just stood firm and, well, no, you told me you didn't want me anymore. So I went to go get the help that I needed to undo this. And he was like,
Right.
but what my wife wants you to come to Christmas. Why am I coming to Christmas and you told me you don't want me anymore? Did I say that? Yes, you said that. See,
Right.
that's when I would have been like, yes, MF, you said it.
You just
And then
said that.
it would have been, they would have been shutting down the lights and everything,
Right.
scene over.
Because the only reason I say that about with Mary is because I do agree that she won in the sense that what really bothered him, and part of the reason why I think he went over there originally, was because he did want to have the argument. But the reason why he wanted to have the argument is not because of the loss of the relationship or how she treated him or how they're going
Hmm.
back and forth, because he doesn't care enough about Mary to care whether she says something to him or not.
Right.
But what bothered him was the fact that the people at the church had said
Right.
that he abandoned her, because she had already said, hell, when Suki had said back in season 16 during the tell-all, well, you abandoned Mary, and he got pissed off and said, whoa, I resent
Right.
that. Don't you ever say that I abandoned her. Abandoned? I didn't abandon her. He doesn't like the term because he sees
Hmm.
that as a personal failure. So what he's angry about is the fact that these church leaders see him as abandoned not only Mary, because if you listen to what he said that they don't just see me as abandoning Mary, they see me as abandoning all the wives
All the
except
wives.
one.
Yeah.
And so he's pissed about that. And that's where she won. And I think that part of Mary's strength is that I think that what has always kind of held Mary back was her inability to take responsibility for the catfishing thing. Like you stepped
I'm
out.
sorry. Now, everybody gets mad when I say this. I wouldn't have took responsibility for that. You, first of all, you basically drugged me through two other wives, and I know I'm over talking you. I'm sorry, but you drugged me through two other wives. Then you bring in
Okay.
a third wife. You asked me to divorce you, to give up basically my hierarchy in this little crazy thing we've created. You
Right.
asked me to give up the last thing that I have after
Right.
you've drugged me with the other two wives, to give it up to her for no reason that made sense. I go along with it, and
Right.
I've been full, and that's when I fully realized you don't want me anymore, and so I seek out to go find somebody else. No, I ain't ever gonna apologize for that. You can kiss
Well,
all of it, cause I ain't gonna ever apologize for
it's
that.
not about
I
apologizing.
or take
I don't.
accountability.
It's about being. It's just acknowledging what you did, because we can say that, like, even from like with regard to her coming into the marriage or coming into the wedding,
Mm-hmm.
marrying Cody, the additional wives coming in, that was part of the
Mm-hmm.
deal. The bringing Robin in, that was part of the deal. Giving up her
But was it
position,
was it
that was
part of
part
the
of the deal.
deal? No,
That was the
I
deal.
agree with that. I'm
Yeah.
saying how he mistreated her with the other three wives. That's what
Well,
I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the polygamy thing. That was part of the deal.
right.
But basically how he played one against the other when he, would get mad with Mary and then asking her to give up her status for Robin. That's what I'm saying. Listen, I'm cut different. So I just would have been handling it.
Well,
I
I don't
I
think you
I
would do polygamy in the first place. That's just my first
no.
impression.
You know what?
But
No.
that's my first impression.
I
But
ain't built for that.
right, that's what I'm saying. I'm not either. I'm not even criticizing. I'm saying I'm not either. But all I'm
Yeah.
saying is, when I say take responsibility, it is what it is.
I got
Like,
you.
you
I
were
got
involved
you.
in a committed relationship. You stepped out of that relationship. The relationship wasn't over. You stepped out of that relationship. Now, with that being said, I I am not going to say that she was, it's not it's completely out of this world that she would do that. You
Right.
understand what I mean? Like,
Considering how
because
she
he
was being
had
treated.
abandoned her.
Right.
He wasn't coming over assisting her. He wasn't taking care of her needs. He wasn't making sure that she was okay. He wasn't checking on her. He wasn't fulfilling his duties as a husband. He wasn't even checking on her as a friend. He wasn't doing a lot of things. So she had a hole blown in her heart that she was trying
Yeah.
to fill because of his inability to take care of her. That was his 100%. That was his failing. That was his failing.
Right.
And as she said, if you don't want me, let a player know that you don't want me. Cut me loose. Cut me off the
Mm-hmm.
team. You don't want me on
Mm-hmm.
the team no more.
Mm-hmm.
Cut my ass off the team and put me in
Mm-hmm.
free agent so I can go find somewhere else if you don't want me. But he didn't do that. And because he didn't do that, she did what she did. And that's the only thing that I can say about Mary. But I think that throughout the whole thing, I don't think Mary is the villain that she's been kind of cast as, just from the
Right.
sense that
Right.
she was put in an impossible position where she was surrounded
Mm-hmm.
by people where Cody was. I'm sorry, guys. I said I was only going to do 5 minutes. This is on me. This is
I'm
on me.
sorry. You can drop me. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go over.
No, 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 no. You're fine. But just to close out, like, the fact of the matter is, Mary was put in a situation where I don't think that she 100%, even though she grew up in polygamy, I don't think Mary was about that life. I don't think she was willing to share her husband, and it hurt her to do that. And then she had a
Mm-hmm.
husband who triangulated and turned all these women against one another because he
Mm-hmm.
liked the storm. He just didn't want to have to deal with the consequences of the storm. He loved when the whole house get wrecked and everything gets torn up and destroyed, but he didn't want to have to deal with any of the cleanup. He didn't want to have to deal with any of the responsibility when it came to that. Excellent conversation from Sassy. I'm sorry, guys, that we went over. It was on me. I did it. But because I had to say what my little piece about Mary. In fact, I think I might do a video on Mary because there's some things I want to say about Mary. But next up, ladies and gentlemen, we have Negla. Hold on one second. Let me just make sure I got everything. Yep, we're up to date. So next up we have Negla 3. What's going on, Negla? How you doing?
Hey James, I'm hanging in there.
I heard that
Um,
both hands.
okay, I just got to tell you. Remember last week I told you that, like, you reminded me of one of he's like my brother,
Mhm.
neighbors down the street or whatever. I promise you. Okay, Miss Betty, she is my reality TV grandma. Okay, bitch slappery took me out. Like, I was already, I knew what I was gonna say because I'm not saying much, but she threw me all the way.
Yeah, she threw a left on you, right?
Oh, yes, she did. But you know what? I would. You know what? She could come over my house. I come over her house anytime. I'm telling you, Miss Betty is. She is. Oh yes, she's the life of the party.
Okay.
Um, but okay, so this week, okay, hold on. No, first of all, I wanted to comment on your conversation with Sassy just real quick.
Mhm.
Um, So this is the thing. I don't care for Janelle and Christine either. And I know that there was some stuff released about how Mary treated the kids or what have you, and as far as like their treatment of Mary. However, that was never like really made clear on the show. So that's why I would love it if you did do a deep dive on Mary, because I don't get like, I mean, she's done nothing but try to, you know what I mean, support the family, love the family. She lost her job because of the family,
Yeah.
you know, just a lot of things that I two and two don't click, if you get what I'm saying. And it's almost, even though I like Janelle and Christine, it's almost like the two mean girls who won't let Cinderella's, you know what I mean? The mean stepsisters who won't let Cinderella. And I'm in no way calling them mean girls, because I like them. I really like all three of them. I really do. But it's just, it gives me those vibes. Does that make sense?
No, I feel you. I hear what you're saying.
Okay. And then I just wanted to say real quick. Now, okay, the opinions expressed by Negla 3 are not necessarily those of James and My Take on Reality. But I know you do a show on Mondays with Sarah. And I didn't know if this was maybe something you guys wanted to explore, but some of the qualities that I see in Cody and in Robin, yes, her mother was a wife, but she didn't really grow up in polygamy, and Cody did grow up fully in polygamy. They remind me. I'm sorry.
Oh, just for clarification, Cody's mom and dad didn't become polygamous till after he got back from his mission, which would have put him about 18, 19 years old, maybe about.
I see. Okay, so he never lived it either,
Right.
as a child. Okay,
Right.
okay, I see. Okay, thank you for. I don't want to misstate it, because what I'm about to say again, these are Negla 3's opinions. These are not James's, but he and Robert remind me of kind of like, and I'm not trying to be derogatory, but like, you know, like the homily or the gypsy lifestyle, hominy or gypsy, where like kind of I'll get what all I can and then try to avoid giving it back to you or what have you. You know, everybody talks about how much money that Janelle put in, and Janelle did put in a majority of the money. She gave up her retirement to, you know what I mean, to get those homes. And then, but see, Mary, after she got fired, she got another job, which she was, you know, slaving her tail off. And then Christine, when she wasn't raising the children, she worked. So, you know what I'm saying? So they did invest equity and things like that. And so it almost makes me feel like Robert and Cody are like being like, I don't know how to explain it, but when I'm saying gypsy, I'm saying like, okay, we're going to take it from you, and then we're going to act like you never gave us anything, or gaslight you into believing that you owe us nothing, or I mean that we owe you nothing. And you get what I'm saying? It just gives me those vibes, and I don't know how to shake. I've had those vibes for a while, but hearing you describe now, so something went wrong with my Hulu tonight, so I wasn't able to watch it live. But hearing you describe his conversation with Janelle and putting that together with, I've watched all, I think it's 19 seasons or whatever. I've watched every episode because I binge watched it, and I really get those vibes from her and from Robert and Cody. I really, really do. Is that just me, or do you? I don't know.
Do I see that that Cody is coming off like they've contributed far less than they've actually contributed? Absolutely.
And they're just using the other three as cash cows.
Right. No, I 100% agree with that. And that's what I was saying about Janelle early on, when she was saying that she contributed to the family, and when they were throwing their money all in together, everything seemed possible. But if you really look at what you were getting out of the situation, you were getting the short end of the stick in that situation.
You were getting a man that came over 2 nights a week to fuss and complain that your kids were unruly. And what else? I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
maybe.
because things were
Go ahead.
possible because the dude came through and he said like, oh, we're gonna buy this land on Coyote Pass and we're gonna build it up and it'll be so amazing. We just kick in some money and we'll do that. And so you kick in money for that. Then you get to Arizona and then you help
It's a
Christine get her
scam.
house. And then once Christine gets her house, because you guys have all this free flow money because you're all kicking in together, then Cody and Robin come in and they say, oh, I want to buy this little McMansion, and you kick in for that.
While
And
you're
that becomes
living in a trailer that
right.
Cody has to complain about coming and giving you propane and emptying your sewage.
Right. Right.
Excuse me?
It's
Not I
insane.
said this fat black woman. I'm sorry. That's not happening.
Right, right. And that's why everything is, and the reality of it is that that's kind of what I took from it. That's why it really struck me, is because when he says when I'm about to run through the whole list like the old too old person does, like Bobby Sue Lewis, but
Baby, I'm 1977, so I feel, and my mama from down south, so I feel you. Go ahead.
run the whole roster. You know what it is. But when Janelle had said that, that's what it really struck me, is that of course everything seems possible because you have this guy that's telling you everything is possible, but he's benefiting from this relationship where you aren't.
And it's
He's getting
lopsided.
everything he wants where you aren't. So that's kind of where that was.
It's all, I've always seen it as a lopsided arrangement, and you know, just even with somebody had said something. I know you only got 5 minutes, but just real quick, somebody had said something about like to where Robin wouldn't let the kids eat because, oh well, I get food stamps and that food is only for my kids. All of them were getting food stamps because if you recall correctly, when Christine declared bankruptcy for 3 years, she declared her only income was food stamps and gifts from friends.
Right.
So you can't tell me none of them in that house were getting food stamps and sharing it. So Robert comes and no, that's all my kids. It's kind of like I'm an only child and I do not share well. So when I used to go to New York and visit my cousins, I told you I come from a huge family. When I would go to New York or Mississippi, I wanted to have my own bed. Oh, no. You gonna pile on the floor like the rest of the kids. Oh,
right.
no, I need my own bed, you know, or that was my mentality. So I can understand her mentality. But the thing is that if you're supposed to be in this plural family, if you're really supposed to do this, then you have to learn how to share. Right. And the FDA was not coming to your house trying to check who exactly was eating that box of cream of wheat. They was coming to your house to see about Cody having these 3 wives on TV. That's what they was coming to your house to see about.
Right.
Not the food stamps. They care less about the food stamps. People do that all the time, and especially in those communities.
Well, because even then, I gotta let you go. But even then, I would say this. You could complain about them coming over eating your food that you getting on your SNAP or your food stamps welfare, whatever.
Right.
But at the same time, girlfriend, they paying for your house. They paying for your place to stay. So
they
you
bought
can't
your
complain
house
so much. You know
they bought your house.
Yeah.
They bought your house.
But you can't complain but so much. Since you came down, since you guys been together and you moved down here, you moved to Lehigh, they were paying for you to live around the corner. When you guys moved to Vegas, they was paying for you to stay in the places in Vegas. So
they paid off your $34,000 Victoria's Secret bill.
Right. So
and who was you buying all that lingerie for anyway? When you wasn't with Cody, so who was you with? Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say
she doing what she was doing? But the whole thing is, if they kids want to come over and eat a box of Lucky Charms at your house or some Fruit Loops, let them eat them. That's all I'm saying. Like if I'm paying your rent and my kid want to come over and eat a bowl of cereal, let them eat the bowl of damn cereal. That's all I'm saying.
And now that the check is being split up 4 different ways or 5 different ways as opposed to one big check, they big mad now.
Yeah,
they big mad now, and that's why. That's the only. I know you got to let me go, but that's the only reason why Cody wanted Mary to stay around was so he could still get her portion. That he knew she would look out for him.
Right.
So yeah. All right, dear.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It was a great conversation. I appreciate it. You too. Negla 3, ladies and gentlemen. Neglet 3. Get back in the house. Oh, let me get some super chats in real quick. And Jules, if you want to call in, I know you just dropped out, but if you want to call back in, I'll put you right up. Oh, I had two. Oh, okay, here we go. Sassy Experience, $2 super chat. I mistakenly dropped out, but overstayed my 5 minutes. No, Sassy, it was a great conversation. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I'm gonna give you a little something, something. That was a lot of fun. I like the conversations. Now my little pushback. Pushback is good. It's good. It expands the mind. Maybe you see something I don't see. I'm, not perfect. So I could always be wrong and corrected. Angel, even star, $1.99 super chat. Mary was Team Robin. Hard for J and C to connect. Yeah, it was I think that's a connection to why it was hard for Janelle and Christine to reconnect with Mary. I think that it's part of the reason why it's so difficult for them to Christine and Janelle to let Mary back in is because they have a history. And part of that history is that Cody kept them at odds with one another for so long and kept them fighting amongst each other for so long that you start to develop ill feelings towards each other. It starts to take seed, it starts to germinate. And so, because of that situation, Mary is kind of on the outs. And let's be honest, like these are grown folks. And if you don't enjoy spending time with folks, you don't have to. And I totally respect the fact that Christine and Janelle, they want to spend time with each other. Mary enjoys the people that she spends time with. You don't have to force a relationship. They're at the age now where there's no reason why they have to force a relationship with one another. So if they don't want to talk and hang out, then they don't have to. I mean, it's cool for TV wise, but in real life, if you guys don't like each other, or maybe you just not, sometimes, and that's the thing too, sometimes you just not everybody's type of folk, like it just is what it is. Like you might look at yourself and say, you know what, I'm a nice person, but you just don't get along with everybody. Just something about you or something about them rubs the other person the wrong way. Y'all just don't click. It is what it is. But I appreciate you, Angel. Let me give you a little something. High stepping. I used to be able to do that. That kick step. Kid and play kick step. All right. So Emma, what's going on?
Hi,
How are you?
I'm doing good. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. You're coming through loud and clear.
I totally have bullet points. I took
Okay.
notes because last time I just felt like crickets. I was giving you nothing. I am not very charismatic.
Hey, I'm sure you did wonderfully.
So first off, I would love to see you do a video deep diving on Cody saying being in love with a woman is the woman's fault. What the fuck?
Yeah, I had to rewind that. I had to go back. That's what took me a little while to get back on, after the show was over. Because I had to go back a few times, like, what is he talking about? Like, what the?
I swear it's just verbal diarrhea for this guy.
Right.
And then the total projection about why don't you take accountability, Mary? And it's come on, you got called out by the AUB. You can't stand it.
Right.
His man child is showing.
Right. Well, that and the fact that if you listen to what Mary was saying, Mary wasn't saying, Cody, it's all your fault the relationship fell apart. She said she took full responsibility. I had a part in it too. The relationship didn't work out. I was a party to that relationship. I am a part of that failure for why the relationship didn't work. And you can't ask anybody to do more than that.
Well, and the I think for the fans, the only more shove over the edge accountability that Mary needs to take is that yes, I did cheat on him, but for a fucking good reason.
Right.
She was abandoned. We all saw it with our own peepers. Come on.
Right. And that's what I say. Like, I get it. I mean, I'm not gonna sit there and pretend like, oh, okay, he abandoned her and she should have stayed faithful up until the last moment. In a perfect world, maybe, but in the real world, you can't treat people like that and expect to come home and
No.
everything is hunky dory and everything is cool. Like, you're going to come home and you're lucky if you still got rugs on the floor. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just she stayed, and I give her credit. To her credit, and the one thing I will say is my kind of my precursor to the video I'll do on Mary is that no matter what happened with Mary, she has always been a loyal person, and you can see her loyalty
Well,
through a lot of
even
her
like
sticking around.
Janelle and come on, what's her name now?
Christine?
Yeah, Christine. Sorry, Janelle and Christine say it. Oh, Mary's loyal to a fault.
Mhm.
Like, and I see that. Come on now.
Right.
Come on. Mary was being 100% reasonable in this conversation.
Right.
Like 100 fucking percent. And it's like,
right.
just the crap that was coming out of Cody's mouth. Like, serve her. You need to serve me. What?
Right.
I don't get it.
I'll take it a step further because I respect what you said with her being reasonable. I'll take it a step further. I think that she was not only being reasonable, I think Mary was being generous. She was being absolutely generous to Cody because, like I said in the beginning, if you've been with somebody for 30 years, over the course of that 30 years, you've acquired so much dirt on this person. If you wanted to wreck, if she really wanted to wreck his character, she has the absolute ammunition to do it. I guarantee you she could.
Oh no. I'm 100% on board with you on that one. Like, she could have, during that interview, or during that performative interview, I feel like was like Cody can rock up in his washed off truck. I'm sorry, I'm from Minnesota. So like, salt is all over your vehicle if it's snowing.
Right.
so your nice shiny truck, your King Country truck, and like he walked in like she was coming to the door, and he just like was like in.
Right.
Oh my god. Anyway, yeah, like there's just I love when she face plants him. Like, go back and watch it. Just the dumbass look on his face, like, what? Like, as he's sitting there listening to her talk to him, is the funniest. Like, I laughed out loud. Like, I was like, what the fuck is that? You dumbass. And then, speaking of looks, the other one that I've also bullet pointed was the look in Mary's eyes when Cody was saying, you know, Robin wants you there. And she's got that dumbfounded look like, you serious right now?
Right.
You serious?
Well, the best part is if she would have said, well, Robin wants you there. So? so what? Like, okay, go home and explain to your wife that I'm not coming. Yeah, that's not my responsibility. How's that on me?
If any of the fandom is listening to this right now, go back and watch the two dumbass looks. Like, what?
All right. You need to tell Robin. No, I don't need to tell Robin anything.
No. Like, I'm sorry you're no longer the big man on campus, so to speak. Ugh. Anyway. Yeah, no, Rebecca needs to watch Raising Arizona, because her comment about like how like Cody is all like, well, these kids are getting too big. It just reminds me of the line, well, these kids are getting too big for Dot to cuddle.
Yeah, she got to get rid of these old ones because they don't see him as a hero anymore.
No,
you know.
And why should they?
Right.
Like, oh my god. Anyway, thanks for your time, James.
Well, thank you for calling in.
Those are my bullet points. And Betty, you're the true OG.
Yeah, Betty got a fan club forming.
Yeah.
Bitch slappery. Gotta put that in the lexicon.
I think that's a new term for me at least.
I think I've heard it once, but you know what? I'm gonna give it to Betty because she earns it. She
Well,
earned it.
like I'm from Minnesota, so like I can't even say big, right? But Betty has that beautiful, enduring Southern accent.
That's awesome.
Big. Like I like. You want me to turn it up? I can turn up my Minnesota accent all you want. I
So,
just feel off a turnip truck. Oh my.
so you have the I guess the business voice and the Minnesota accent voice. Is that how it
Yep.
works?
Yep. Anyways, thanks,
Uh,
James.
Thank you so much. Great call. Great call. Appreciate you. All right. That was awesome. Awesomeness. Let me just check. I gotta check something real fast. Okay. Awesomeness. Raj, you are up next. And then we're gonna close out with Betty in the house. Betty's back. All right, Raj, what's going on?
Hey, okay. Um,
Dog want to get in on it too.
I know.
Fur
Just
baby's
loud.
like, I want to say something. I got something to say about Cody's ass.
She hasn't got used to living removed, but
Okay.
she going back to Mary and Christine were good friends. Christine made a comment back, I think back in like 4 years ago, that Mary used to be so nasty towards her in front of her friends, in front of her relatives, and all that. She said she just came to the conclusion enough is enough, and she just left her alone. And then on top of that, she was verbally abusive to her children. But I thought Mary apologized to everybody and told them, that she was sorry. McKelsey, her daughter,
Right.
I think she's extreme. I think she's a little much. I think she loves the spotlight and she wants attention constantly. I mean, I know Mary probably was wrong being just as abusive as Cody was, because I'm quite sure Cody was verbally abusive because he was verbally abusive to the wives. But I don't know. Mary, I don't know. I think Mary has done her dirt. She apologized. These people need to let it go. I mean,
Right.
and play nice. I mean, everybody can play with the red ball. I mean, come on, people. I mean, I don't know. I just think everybody, and then also, I think also everybody's under contract. They can't trash Cody. They can only go so far. If they trash him all the way, that means the show's going to end. That means their money source is going to end also.
Right.
So they have to be careful about exactly what they say about him. Because Christine said on one of these shows that she's so angry at him, but she won't go into detail other than truly. But she's more than just angry at him. She's probably despised that man because of the things he had probably said to her since they divorced.
Right. Right.
Because he doesn't hold his tongue well. I mean, and I'm quite sure. And what's her name? His wife
Oh, Robin.
saw a lot of him too. I mean, his behavior. His behavior is really crazy. Don't you think? There's something wrong there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, because I think that I think a lot of it just kind of really strikes me as a lot of immaturity on his behalf. Like there's a lot of parts where I see he just hasn't grown up. And if I didn't know he had 4 wives, I would even be challenged to think that he had like substantial relationships with women. Because of the way he acts. Because a lot of the stuff that he says about women and how women thinks isn't commiserate with my understanding on how women actually think and how they operate. You understand what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he says it almost like like the observation he has about women is something that I would expect somebody in their 20s to say.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, oh well, they just did it for the money. Like, are there women out there who will use you for your money? Absolutely. But most women, any woman over 25 who has any respect or dignity for herself is not going to sit in a long-term relationship for 20 or 30 years waiting for a deadbeat ass dude to put his finances together. Like, it's just not happening. Like, if somebody's a gold digger, they're a gold digger. You know, they're not waiting, they're not they're not investing the time, energy, and patience in a guy who doesn't have any gold to dig. Like, he was broke. Like, so these women weren't chasing him for his resources. Now, there's one woman of his 4 wives who you could say might have done that, but it certainly wasn't the OG3, because when you got with them, you were broke. You were too broke for them to gold dig on you. So it's things like that he says that just doesn't make sense to me.
And Janelle, is she just that nice?
You know what, I think, I genuinely think that with Janelle's case, I think she's just one of those people. She made a commitment to a process even more so than to a person, like to Cody. I think she committed herself to the marriage and to the lifestyle, and this is her execution of that commitment. And
Right.
so it puts her in a precarious situation as far as how she's being treated with the money. But you know, it's not a good look, because I feel bad for her. Every time she says something about that I'm like, wait, go see an attorney. Just talk to
Right.
an attorney.
Take it out your hands.
Right.
And then also, I mean, they're going to bring this all the way up to present.
Mm-hmm.
He's speaking now. She seems like she's okay with him. I would be very angry at him because I mean, I know it's not his fault behind her son, but he has said things that the joint thing that was directed towards him. That
Mm-hmm.
Remember I said that to you once before when he used to say, "Well, we ain't gonna sit around and be like
Alcoholics, yeah.
alcoholics."
I said the same thing. Yeah.
He was talking about him,
Right.
and for her to forgive him, so, I mean, I don't know. It's something I don't know. She's a very forgiving woman, but I know my
No, I
5 minutes
agree.
are up. But yeah, she's a very forgiving woman. All right.
No, I appreciate you calling in. That was some great points. But I can also appreciate the fact that you said that she's a forgiving woman. Because like I said, a lot of these folks, TV show or no, they are doing the Lord's work because they're stronger people. I'll say they're a better caliber of person than I am, because I'm way more bitter than I'll be way more bitter and way more petty.
Petty.
Yeah,
I
I'll
mean,
be
he would
so
be.
bitter and petty, it'd be crazy.
He'll have one of those signs saying, "I work for money." I mean,
Right.
all
I'll
right.
tell you,
Thank
I'll be
you.
playing. All right, you have a good one.
Bye bye.
Thank you so much. But yeah, I agree, because I will be out there playing that song. Go get the money. Go get the money. Every time I get ready to shoot, go get the money. Go get the money. That'd be my theme song. I'll be in the car just rocking. I gotta go put up with this fool. Go get the money. Go get the money. You need to get paid because you gotta pay these bills. Got kids in college. But as soon as that's over, I'm gonna put out my tell-all book. Roast this joker. Sassy Experience. Mary should send Robin her RK retreat receipt recipe by Cody. Oh, okay, what's this? Arcade treat. Oh, okay. The Rice Krispie treat recipe by Cody. Okay. You see, you're a nice person. You should make Cody some Rice Krispies. Right? Remember they were supposed to make them caramels, and Robin refused to do it, and she wanted to go out and buy some. That's what she's gonna do with that recipe. But let me get us something. Sassy Experience. But I would like, Mary, if you ever watch this, send me some Rice Krispie treats. I am a Rice Krispie treat fan. So I'm kind of curious, because Cody said he swears by them, and apparently they are delicious enough to where she could present them in a way to make Cody lose his mind. So I would like to try some. Well, yeah, I'll just leave it there. I want to try some of the Rice Krispie treats. That's it. They all should have This is y'all should have refused to make the caramels. Cody is so entitled. Yeah, he was. And the way he said it was like, you guys can make me some caramels to pleasure me, please. Thank you. And it must taste like my mother's caramels. Did he call them caramels or did he call them caramels? I can't remember. I know there's like a little bit of a dispute on that. Just see. Yeah, but I'm gonna come out with a video about Mary. I think that I might do that one first. Come out about a video, and I'm gonna dedicate it to Mary. My little take on Mary and her position. But I'm gonna bring Betty back. If we'll leave it open for Jules. If you call back in, I will put you right up. Bring Betty back for 5, and then guys, I'm gonna have to go because I gotta get my butt up tomorrow. Crazy early. But Betty is back. What's going on, Betty? Back once again.
Well, I love y'all, and anybody in my neighborhood, pop on in. Always have a pitcher of sweet tea, and we can always barbecue, girl. Anybody, the 3 of you in my neighborhood, come on.
There you go.
Yeah, my phrases, I make up some that just come off the top of my head. I mean, I'll tell you real quick. I told my husband the other day, and he's like, "What?" I told him he pissed me off, so I told him he looked like something that dog drug in and a squirrel wouldn't have. I mean, I'm quick to turn a phrase, and it comes out of nowhere. My mind doesn't always work right. But just to piggyback off of what Sassy said, and I give her 100% credit for bringing this up.
Okay.
What Cody, and it's not just Cody, it's the women as well, have left is a legacy of pain. When you think about the moves, that goes back to the secrecy of the children when they were moving to Vegas. Not just Hunter not being able to finish and be able to be scouted, but of not even being able to say goodbye to their friends when they talk about closure. You can't say goodbye to your friends. It was done in secrecy and like a thief in the night
Right.
for the show. I'm quite certain. Then you have Gabe, who didn't want to move to Flagstaff and actually completed his last year of high school online, and Cody wasn't even aware of what he was studying.
Right.
And this comes from a place as a wife, a mother, I mean, a woman. There's decisions you make for your children, and I'm sorry, but none of them were women enough to stand up and say, this is my choice. Even going back to Leon, who cried, she was brokenhearted to stay that year in school. I had to make that choice. I was apart from my husband for 8 months. I lived in Natchez. He lived in Memphis because of Hurricane Katrina and jobs, but my daughter was in her senior year of school. She was on track for scholarships, thank God. And we lived apart for 8 months, but she was able to get a full ride scholarship. So, other than paying for her rent, we paid $3,000. She got 2 degrees. But
Right.
that was a choice we had to make, and it was not an easy choice to be apart from my husband for 8 months.
Right. Right.
You know, we did see each other when we could, weekend trips, things like that. But it's a choice you make as a woman, as a mother, as a wife, as a family.
Right.
So,
Right.
I'm sorry, but sometimes you don't give grace when there's no grace to give.
Right. Well,
You
I
give
think
as
that
much as
there's
you can, but
well,
as a
I would just say that I think that there's a subtle parallel because, as you mentioned early on with Leon, they were down in when they were moving from Lehigh to Vegas, and Leon didn't want to go. They had said, "I just want to stay here, finish out the year." Cody was absolutely refused, and he made it a point to say, "Because we're the parents, and part of my job is to take care of you while you're a child, is to be involved with you and take care of you while you're a child." It's weird how when they get to Vegas and they're about to move to Arizona, and they move like Gabe wants to stay in Vegas. They're like, no, 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 you have to move to Arizona. When he gets to Arizona, all of a sudden Cody's not involved with him. Like, you know what I
yeah,
mean? Like that's
that's what I mean by like a legacy of
a
pain.
difference. Yeah.
You have, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to speak over you. I apologize.
No, no,
But
you're fine.
it's such a legacy of pain going so far back in their childhoods that I'm surprised all of them aren't in counseling. And then you
Yeah.
also have the case, you know, you have Maddie that moved there with her child, no less,
Mm-hmm.
to build a home, make a family, and then they up and moved to Flagstaff, and then he has the audacity to say, "Well, they moved away from me." really?
Right.
And he's such a dandy. I think he's watched one too many romance movies because he's such a dandy. And I'm from the South, and he's like a Southern dandy. He wants to be wooed.
Right. Right. You got to
It's like,
chase him. You got to
seriously,
court him. And he
you need
said
to
that.
court me.
Actually, he said that
He's
to
a Southern
Mary.
dandy. Yes.
He said, "You have to
Like,
court me."
seriously?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I think he really thinks he's like on the cover of a romance novel with the flowing hair,
Right.
and you must court me. Yeah, I mean, oh my
With the
God.
locks. With the locks.
Or
But
like a Greek tragedy. I mean, like, really, honey, you've watched one too many romance shows because
right.
life is not like that.
Well, I've never heard a man say that you have to court me. Like you know what I mean? Like I've never heard a guy say that to a woman that he was interested in. Like you really have to court me to get me. I've
No,
never
I
heard
take
it
that
phrased that
back.
way.
Oh, I have. I take that back. Oh my God, when I was younger, I mean, like
Mhm.
way younger, clearly, I dated this guy, and he's like, "I'm unique. My car's unique. My name's unique." I'm like, "Oh, you unique, all right. You need to unique your way out the door." Like, no, ma'am. Like, absolutely not. Like, but there are men out there like that. I call them effeminate.
Yeah, I've
Very
never seen
effeminate.
that.
He wants to be wooed. He wants to be courted.
Yeah,
Like, really,
I've never
you are
heard that.
not in a southern. I mean, like Gone with the Wind. He wants to be. He wants to be the dandy in Gone with the Wind.
Right.
I would say he's more of a Scarlett O'Hara. I'll never be hungry again.
Well, because the only thing he fears is poverty. So
Well, I came from poverty. I understand the fear of that, but
right.
I mean, like I'm from the wrong side of the tracks. My husband was on the right side of the tracks. I mean, I take some getting used to. I have big personality and little bitty money. So
Right.
I have a champagne taste and
Beer
little beer
pockets.
pocket. I got more like the 40-ounce pocketbook. That's mine.
Oh
It's
yeah,
okay.
wild turkey. The crazy
Girl, I
horse
couldn't
pockets.
afford the wild turkey. Mine's more like Alizé. So, but I'm just, when you look at it, it's such a, like I said, I give Sassy full credit for bringing it up, but I do believe each and every adult is responsible for that legacy, and every one of them should take accountability
Right.
for their part. And I don't give grace for things that you should as a woman and as a mother and even as a father. Like you said, when Leon wanted to stay, you could make that sacrifice.
Right. And I didn't understand why everybody
You
had to
have
pack
to do.
up. I guess for the sake of the show, everybody had to do it, but like for the health of your kids, it didn't make the most sense. And
No.
especially for them to
And
move them around the way they did at the short notice that they give them. Like they start school, they're in school for like 2 months, and then all of a sudden you're ripping them out of school. And then at the same time, the ironic part is you're tearing them out of school, especially high school. You're tearing them out of high school, and you turn and say, "Well, the only way you can go to college is if you get some scholarship money." How the hell am I supposed to get scholarship money if you're tearing me out of school?
oh yeah.
Like that
Like I
doesn't
don't
make
think
that
people
sense.
realize how hard that is. I mean, when my
Right.
daughter got her scholarship, I was on my knees thanking the good Lord above because she got full ride
Mhm.
scholarship. She's social, in social work. She has her bachelor's. She has, and she's on the road to a master's. Free
Okay.
still. She has to
Right.
go back within the 7 years, and they'll pay for her to get a master's. So
Okay.
I'm very fortunate, and I thank the good Lord above. And
Mhm.
that's on her. I like that. That's not me. So I'm so grateful. But had I taken her out of the program that she was in school, she wouldn't have gotten that scholarship,
Right.
and she wouldn't have been able to attend college without having to get loans. So we're very fortunate. Not everyone is that she didn't have. Like at the end of her college, we paid $3,000. That's what we owed.
Mhm. Well, that's good.
So
There's
I
no
mean, but that's
education
on
like
her.
free
She
education.
did the hard work. I mean, like she put in the work.
Right.
I do not take anything from her. My only job was to make sure I was there, and that meant being a part. But
Mhm.
again, like I don't give grace to people who don't deserve grace. Like I
Right.
love the women. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to piss anybody off. I'm proud of where they've come. I'm happy with their achievements, but you still need to take accountability for yourself as well.
Right.
For anybody, I mean, it's your choice: beggar, pauper, rich, poor.
Right.
You have to take accountability.
Well, you also get an advantage because things turned out as well as they did for a majority of the children. So you get they they uh they don't necessarily feel the repercussions of that situation because the kids did turn out as well as they did. But at the same time, it was hard fought and hard earned because their lives could have been a little easier had people made different decisions earlier on. You know, just whether it's to leave or to try to create more boundaries. And sometimes it's not just a matter of you leaving a relationship as much as it is you just creating strong fences. Strong fences create good neighbors. So create those strong boundaries. Like, I'm not going to tolerate this. I'm not going to tolerate that. And if you do this or that, then I'm going to have to leave and make other decisions. But this is my line. When it comes to your kids, I'm not moving them all over the country. So you need to figure it out. Where we're going to
100%
be at,
agree.
figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's just, it is what it is. And when,
Mm,
as a parent, and that it means him as well,
right.
just the fact he was so selfish, he couldn't even give the where we go one, we go all. Really, where we go one goes my money is what he
Right.
meant,
Right.
and he
I
didn't
need
want
your
to lose
bank
that
accounts.
control.
He
Like,
was because
I had that account number.
at that point he just needed them to sell those houses. I need you to sell your houses.
Yeah, but it was their stupidity. To Why would you jump in on blind faith of somebody that has a repeated pattern? You know the pattern. You're not clearly, even with Janelle. I love Janelle. Please don't nobody come for me for that. I do love her,
Right.
but you know that you see the pattern, and when you are so committed to this, you're oblivious. You are oblivious, and just the word that say, they're still saying that he's charismatic. Well,
Right.
charismatic can be two things. You have Princess Diana, charismatic, that was loved by the people. She did well for the people. And then you have Jim Jones, who was also charismatic and led his people down a path of destruction.
Right.
The
Right.
word charisma can be a dual-edged sword depending on how you choose to use it.
Right. Well, it could be a source of good or a source of evil.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
the
but I
devil's
mean,
charismatic too. That's how I get you. The truth of
yeah.
the matter is that if I used to say that about my like when you talk to your kids about talking to strangers. And
Oh,
just
yeah.
the reality of it is that if a person looked threatening to you or they look scary, then there would never be a person who gets hurt ever because you would recognize it on sight. Some of the most attractive people will be the people who do the worst things to you because they have to be able to get close enough to you to do whatever it is they're going to do to you. And that sometimes requires some charisma or some charm, to be able to convince you that the thing that you're seeing isn't what you're seeing. Like, these women aren't dumb. People aren't dumb. They aren't stupid. They just don't necessarily see the things that are happening to them, and then they go through the stages of isolation, normalization, and all that, but you just don't see it because the person is so charismatic that they train you and they teach you and they tell you that everything is normal. Oh, if I'm going to move the kids away, that's normal. If I'm not going to come and see the kids every day or hang out with them or ask about them, that's normal, and you just
Oh, yeah.
smile at them and bring home
Oh, I
flowers or
didn't mean
whatever.
to infer they were stupid at all. That's
No,
not
no,
what
no. Yeah, I'm not saying you
I
did.
wasn't inferring they were stupid. I'm just like, but at some point, it seems like you would understand. Maybe not because I didn't grow up that way.
Hmm.
So, like, but I've been around people who have a lot of charisma, and you can see it for what it is. It's like, okay, they either suck all that, they give energy, they give light, or they suck all the air out of the room. When you walk in and you
Right.
say somebody's charismatic, they can also suck the energy out of a room and be like,
Hmm.
ugh. Like, we're rather than charismatic, obnoxious, maybe.
Right. Right.
But after all these years, I mean, I've been married 40 years, and God knows, sometimes, my husband will put me in my place too when I get a little bit above bum britches, and I'll put him in his. So, you know, we're
Right.
all like that. Everybody's, accountable. Not one person is above the other.
Right.
I just don't see how they don't see it. And they still don't do it. They're still on interviews excusing behaviors.
Right.
And that
Right.
drives me nuts because I'm like, when I'm like, oh, like, what do you not see? You know, I mean, I had a good friend that's still my best friend that was so involved in a relationship, and she came here and she was, oh, boo hoo, and she got mad at me, but I snatched the necklace off her neck and threw it against the wall. I'm like, this is what's holding you back, because
Mhm.
she at that time he had led her down a path, not so nice, and
Right.
she says I was mean. I probably was. God, don't send me to hell. But she had a drinking problem at the time, and when she came here, it was to get clean. And I had a liquor cabinet, and she just cleaned it out. So I threw the bottle at her and said, either get clean. And so she said I embarrassed her with my neighbors because I popped the bottle at her head. Like, you drank the
Mhm.
last bottle, even pecan whiskey that was from my son. And she said I embarrassed her, but she went and got clean, and now she's been 10 years sober. She has her
Okay.
children, she has a home, but sometimes you have to just break those bonds.
Right. Right. Right.
So, and,
Well,
and
it's the
I'll
point
be
of
the
you
type of
not
best friend
enabling.
that I will support you 100%, but I'm not going to sugarcoat.
Right.
So if that means I got to pop a plastic pecan whiskey bottle at your head, then I'll do it.
Right. Right. Well, sometimes support is you not, stepping away and not giving that, because there's a point where they'll say you're not supporting me. It's not that I'm not supporting you. I'm not enabling you. I'm not giving you permissions or the ability to do things to harm yourself, to continue to harm yourself. And I care too much for you that I'm not going to stand here and watch you do it and not say anything. So there's that. So what we going to do? you know,
Oh, yeah.
what we
I think
going to do?
everybody needs that kind of friend.
Right.
Like I said, I've
Right.
been put in my place before when I thought I was just a little too high. And mighty was like, oh, no, 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 ma'am. Pop it on back down.
Right. Right.
Remember where you came from. You ate corn pone as a kid, too.
Right. Right.
Not everybody knows what that is, but yes, I grew up making corn pone and buttermilk. Uh, that's one of them southern things, cornbread and buttermilk.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I
You know,
spent some time in Alberton when I was a kid.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
cracks me up when some people are like, "What the hell is corn pone?" Basically, it's fried cornbread.
Right, right.
You heard a
It's
dry
good
biscuit? You
though.
just, oh girl, yes, you put that on there, slap that on there with some butter.
Yeah, it's good.
That's
You
some
might-
good eating.
maybe I might not be familiar with it, but it's good. But
Oh
I
yeah,
would just say that, like, with regard to enabling, that's one of the things that I think has kind of, like, because earlier I said that I think that Cody has been somewhat limited. Like, even in his conversation, he comes off very young to me in some aspects, immature in a lot of ways. But I think that that's part of it, is because he's gone most of his adulthood where he's had, or at least been surrounded by people who enabled him to be the type of person who doesn't have to mature, doesn't have to develop. And because he didn't have to do these things, because nobody forced him to do it. Like, because if you get, you have most traditional relationships, you get in a relationship with a woman, the benefit of it, at least the people I've dealt with, is that one of the strongest benefits is that they always push you to be better. You know what I mean? So if you get a good partner will push you to be better, and you'll be better than you were yesterday. And if you have somebody who just allows you to kind of remain the same, then they're enabling you to stay in the same place. They're giving you that ability to stay in the same place. And I think Cody's just kind of
100%.
stuck, you
Oh
know.
yeah, and you know what's sad is as great as the rise is as great as the fall. So
Right.
his fall's going to be hard,
Hmm.
and excuse me, I would just like, I mean, I'd hate to be Robin when he falls.
Right. Right. Because he's
Both
gonna
of them
fall right on
actually.
her.
It's going to be like a ton of bricks. Pow!
Right.
Like, but I mean, it makes you wonder about the children.
Mm,
Even Robin's kids, they've not been allowed the freedom to fly.
right.
Yeah, and to get the bruises and the bumps. I mean, because as adults, you know that your children are always going to have that first heartbreak.
Hmm.
They're going to have that first loss, and you allow them to feel it. And you let them go through it, and all
Right.
you can do is be there.
Right.
They're going to have that first party where they may get a little too tipsy. And if you have a good relationship with your children, knock on wood, they will call you first and say, I'm maybe not supposed to, but I drank too much. Will you come get me?
Right. Right.
You always keep that. Oh, pardon me. I got a frog in my throat all of a sudden. Um, ribbit. Um, but I mean, I don't see their children ever being able to do that, to feel the freedom,
Right.
to
Right.
feel that loss, to feel the hurt. I mean, God knows it broke my heart when each one of my sons had that first girlfriend to break up. I mean, all you can do is give them a hug and say it's going to be all right.
Right.
But you got to let them experience what it is. You got to let them, go
Well,
through it.
because I think there's also that point where you allow them to feel it all the way. It's kind of like when they're babies, right? And they're first learning to walk. You have to let them walk. You have to let them climb. You have to let them. Unfortunately, part of that development is sometimes you have to let them fall and hit that ground. Not obviously not from the top of a
Well,
dresser.
clearly not from the top of the stairs going patang.
Right.
Flap your
But
wings.
well, you gotta let them explore, because by allowing them to do that, one, they understand their limitations. They start to develop the limitations. That's one of the things that you can say about kids today, because they don't have that limitation where everything is on the keyboard, everything's online. So people say things to each other and talk to each other in ways that you wouldn't talk to them if you were in person, and you realize this person could actually reach out and touch you. You realize your limitations. There are limitations to everything you can do.
Oh, God knows these people today, nowadays, get their feelings hurt over everything.
Right. In general, they're general.
Seriously?
They're tender. But if you understand those limitations, it also gives you a sense of freedom, because if you do fall and you realize that it's not that bad, you get into relationships, you get your heart broke. It's the worst thing ever. Like the first time you get your heart broke real good, and that
Oh, I
good
remember that.
relationship. Yeah,
Yeah.
you get your heart broke.
Crying into my Ben and Jerry's.
Right. I can't believe this. My life is over. But you realize after that happens that you're going to be okay. And then you develop and you realize that you can continue, and that gives you the ability to put yourself out there and continue to date. Where Christine is, one of the limitations she has is because she only kind of liked Cody, as described by even her daughter. She kind of liked Cody, and then she got married, and then that relationship ended horribly. Then I give her credit in the sense that she was able to open herself back up to be able to date somebody else
She's probably
and
one of the only
experience that.
ones
Yeah,
that, and people say too fast. Well, given her age, and you know what you want, you know what you're looking for, and you know
right,
the type. And it's okay if she has a type.
right. And
You
you know
know,
what you don't want. That's also
you
part
know
of it
what you
too.
absolutely do not want.
Right, right,
I'm sorry, people my age, been married 40 years. You might have a type your husband doesn't know about. You close your eyes and you say, shh, don't say nothing.
right,
And he could do the same. He'd be like, shh, 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 please don't talk.
right,
Ruin my fantasy there. And
right.
that's okay too. I mean, we're all adults. You have that. Like, hey, you want me to throw on a wig? And be like, it won't do no good, honey. Them wrinkles done got you.
Right.
Yeah. Like, oh.
Is
But
that a
and
real?
that's okay. I mean, I used to encourage my husband, like, please get out of my house. Go to the strip club with your friends. He's like,
Right, go
what? I'm
find
like,
something to do.
just go find something to do because you're getting on my. But I mean, like, we learned 10 years into our marriage, we were different people. But he
Right.
accepted me for that because I love to dance. I love to have fun. He'd rather sit home and watch his dumbass shows.
Hmm.
He's a homebody. I'm not. I love to go out. I love, I mean, they have the New River Gorge. I may die doing it, but they have it this year where you can learn to fly in a wingsuit.
Oh, okay.
So, oh my God, I can't wait to be a squirrel.
Are you gonna do
I
it?
might die doing it, but I'll do it happy. So,
Okay.
that like I ain't bungee jumping though. If I see death coming, I don't want to look it in the eyeball.
Right,
No
right.
thanks. I want
And
it to be a
bounce
complete
to it
shock.
twice.
Yeah, I want it to be a shock that I'm dead. I'm like, oh, say what? Because I
Yeah,
don't know where I'm going. If I do get to heaven, I'll be the one with the burnt wing and tarnished halo.
right.
That's
The
me.
yeah, I got you. I'll be the one with the crooked halo. I'll be good.
Yeah, we'll be
Just to the
matched up. And like,
side.
hey,
Yeah.
what's up?
Yeah.
And if I'm in hell, then I'll meet a lot of friends there. Be like, oh, hey, girl,
Yeah. So
wanted to
you
take that shovel.
reunited.
You know. But my goal is to make it there. I just may not make it there clean.
Right. There you
So,
go. There you go. It's the end
but
result.
I didn't. I know I went way over the 5 minutes, and I sure didn't mean to do that to you tonight, baby.
No, that's all right.
I
That's all
know
right.
you said you got to get up early. So
Yeah.
I hope your morning starts with a beautiful cup of coffee, some fresh sunshine, and a song in your heart.
Thank you so much. You as
Go
well.
out there and sing skippity doo dah.
Right.
Yeah,
At
when you
least whistle.
but I will say for everybody here, I hope you start your morning with a laugh. Always
you
start it
go.
with a laugh. Look in the mirror. If your hair's looking like mine, normally haywire, be like, oh, I look good like a cockle-doodle-doo today. Feel yourself and strut it.
There you go.
The whole
There you
community
go.
that you have is wonderful.
Yeah, they're
I'm
awesome.
so
They're
thrilled
awesome.
to be a part of it.
Oh, thank you. We're thrilled to have you.
Oh, shucks. Just does my heart good.
There you go. There you go. You
So
have a
you have a wonderful
fantastic
evening.
evening
I
and a
hope you have
wonderful
a
morning.
wonderful morning.
Thank you.
And said, I just hope you have a wonderful morning with a song in your heart and a smile on your face.
There you go. There you go. That's the only way to roll. It's part of the
Oh,
uniform.
Oh,
You have a
yes.
good night.
You too, sweetheart.
All
Good
right.
night.
Bye. Awesomeness. Awesomeness. So we brought Betty back. I want to thank everybody who participated in the calls tonight. We had some reading material if you guys are interested in a play, Hogan's Goat. That was recommended by Betty and who also contributed Bitch Slappery. So make sure you check for those. But Betty, Rebecca, Sassy Experience, Negla 3, Emma, thank you guys so much for calling in. Appreciate it having a call. Thank you guys for staying cool in the chat. Appreciate you guys. And of course, we're going to have to give a huge thank you to Lizzy B holding us down. Reminding everybody to hit that like button. If you're not yet subscribed, excuse me. Oh my goodness, catching the vapors. If you guys are not yet subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much. Don't forget to check me out tomorrow. I'll be on with Sarah from Reality Squad, and we'll be talking about Sister Wives again during the Sister Lives event at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I have the notice up already. If you guys want to check that out, and make sure you check out my videos this week. I'm going to be dropping videos on the conversation between Cody and Mary. I'm going to give my take on Mary. I'm going to give my take on Janelle and her conversation with regard to Cody. We got a lot of stuff to cover. We're going to be dropping it all week. So make sure you subscribe, hit those like buttons so that way you'll get updated with my new videos as they come out. I want to thank everybody for participating in the chat. I want to thank you guys for staying cool in the chat, holding everything down. I definitely want to thank the callers and everybody who contributed in the chat as well as on the calls. And like I said, Lizzy B in the house. Let me give you guys a little something to go out with. All right, guys. Thank you so much. That's my take. I'm James. This has been My Take on Reality, and I'm out.
'Cause I've been living life right like I could decide any minute. Go for a ride down this life. Yeah.